Greetings, Turtletarians. It's your boy
Lo and
Easy.
behold, we're back.
We're back.
Ah,
It's your boy Easy.
it's your boy Ryan.
And again, you're listening to Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only community-supported podcast, YouTube channel conglomerate, entertainment conglomerate, I should say, or comedy monolith, moguls, that one of those words. Just the world's, let's just say the world for right now, community supported. That's the big part, community supported.
If you can get past that, you can get past almost anything.
Precisely. And but we're the only one that's dedicated to the ongoing journey of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the way from the beginning until let me see how I phrase this. Until I beat my last streak of days it's been since I've wet the bed, Ryan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we had to reset the this many days since an accident board. We had to like put a 0 up there, and everyone.
Yes, that is exactly what I was talking about.
Hate to hear that. I can't
will tell you all about that momentarily. But right now, we are actually live on YouTube in spite of every technical issue that could possibly happen to us. So, yeah, thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. Thanks to everyone who's here watching now. We sincerely appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed or liked or done any of that fun stuff or commented, please do, because it helps everybody. I know you hear it all the time, but it does help everyone and all the metrics and all that stuff, and helps us to keep doing, what we do. So, and speaking of people that help us to keep doing what we do, we have a Patreon, which if you're unfamiliar, you go to patreon.com, look up Turtle Soup. We've been making a podcast for like 12 years. And
absolutely.
So people have been supporting us through that means, and if you want to, please also do that. That would be great. And just want to shout out Brian Bales and Jono Barnes. Thank you so much for being a part of Patron Ranger and keeping us from saying clang. So sincerely appreciate that. Now, if you're new here, we cover the Turtles from the beginning, and then occasionally. And we go through chronologically, but occasionally we don't have the assets or something else comes up and we didn't know about it and this and that. And so I think technically this falls under a bag of tricks episode, which is what we call things that fall in that gray area of we didn't have it when we were going. And so Ryan, can you tell them, can you reach in the bag of tricks Danny left for us and see what we can pull out, what we're pulling out tonight?
Well, amongst other, like mysterious bones, a gummy watch from 2005, and other ceremonial colognes, I did manage to pull out the TMNT Cereal experience from 1989. We are going to split this up into 2 episodes, potentially 3, because it's actually quite fascinating how much there is to it. It was very intense. So today we're going to be covering the mini comics that were found in the actual cereal, that were about the size of a trading card, and they kind of like were a little comic that were drawn by Mirage staff in '89. I mean, we're talking Laird, Ryan Brown. I mean, Steve Levine. We've got like people on this, which is really interesting. The normal cast of characters. The normal old school, saying those names again as being our Mirage bros is really bringing me back. So that's really cool. So we're covering that. Then probably next, there's the cereal box art and all the stuff, which is really wild. And then there is a board game and it's almost like
2 board games. And it's almost like some really weird, like national treasure shit where like, if you steal if you steal the Constitution and everything, and then you read it backwards, you also get the rules of the game. Like it's very intense and stuff. Like so we're going to be doing that. Francis Scott Key just like awakens and he tells you the rules of the game. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've always said about the Star Spangled Banner that song goes hard as fuck because it ends on a question. I'm gonna sing the whole song to figure it out, but can you just tell me what the question is? Because it's at the end. It's like, can you see that Star Spangled Banner yet wave? Oh, okay. The land of the free and the home of the brave. That's a question. Oh, like people like it is like if you see it at a baseball game, which I've had a lot of chance to see it written on screens at baseball games, especially recently. Yeah.
And it is, if they type it out right, it is a question. If you go look up the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner, it is a question at the end. Like, can't you see it?
Ooh, oh yeah.
And it's like, that's like ending a song on a question is hard as fuck. Number one, and that Francis Scott Key went that hard.
That's true.
And then Shane and I have also, like, Shane and I sat down one time. We had one of our conversations where, like, Shane and I just like really get off on like putting ourselves in someone's shoes, like on some real shit, like things you don't think about.
Oh,
so like we were talking about the Star Spangled Banner. We're like, imagine that shit, man. You're on this British like prison ship, you know, and you're watching this fort get like wrecked, dude. And then it gets dark AF, and like back then they didn't have lights and shit, so it was just dark, dude. And you're like,
yeah.
Did we fall? Did we not? And then the sun comes up. You look through that little barred window on that shitty prison ship, and all of a sudden you see that American flag. Your boy had to be like, oh shit. Oh. Like, so we're talking about like that's actually some real. Those lyrics are some real shit.
Absolutely.
Like that's real life. That's like. If that happened to you, you'd be moved to write a song about it.
Yeah, like how often? So he wrote the song afterwards. I was under the impression he was writing the song as it was happening, like in real time. Like he's
no.
Like,
he got
for some reason my brain did
to
that.
Write. He got, if I remember correctly, he got motivated to write. It was a lyrical poem. He got motivated to write it after being held on a British prison ship and seeing the American flag rise over the fort, and I can't remember what fort it was. And knowing that the British hadn't basically made us surrender or taken the fort.
Yeah.
Then way later on, I'm talking like early 1900s, it was set to music.
Oh, okay.
Or late 1800s. So it took a long time, and somebody set it to music, and then that became the national anthem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Man. Well,
anyways.
Yeah, that's
We're going back to our own Turtle Soup history. Our own Francis Scott Key wrote these comics, and we're going to be
that's true.
Ending this shit on a question. So don't worry
absolutely.
about it. Well, that's what we're up to. But what have you been up to? I need to hear this, guys. This is probably going to be long on the garbage because which is, if you're new, the garbage is our affectionate term for personal conversation where we update each other on each other's stuff. And it might be heavy on that because I just returned from a once in a lifetime wild road trip, and Eric had all this time to just be Eric, and we haven't talked. So like there's a lot to get to. And that's why we're going to be a little light with the comics today, but there's some interesting history on the comics that we'll get into later. I think you guys will find interesting in a very Turtle Soup way. But now, Eric.
Yes.
Bro, I was gone for 19 ass days, bro.
I know.
Even more since Turtle Soup actually happened.
Oh, yeah.
So, what have you been up to, and what is up with this bedwetting shit, dude? I got to know.
Okay, well, let me...
Fill your boy in, because the last time I bedwetting... was when you ruined your Turtlecom cardboard data cards.
Yeah.
Oh, you April. I mean, you had no one's back. You saw Jimbo. You didn't have anybody. You couldn't call them.
Couldn't call them.
You got all their phone cards messed up. So.
Oh yeah. No, that was probably one of the last times, because I think never again. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not letting that happen again. But yeah. So I think what happened was that, like, I normally end up getting up like an hour before I'm supposed to. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can go back to bed.
Yeah.
Well, I got up and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna, or I woke up, I should say. And I was like, I kind of need to go to the restroom, but like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. I can wait an hour. Then I had a dream that I got up and went to the restroom. Yes. That's what it was. And so, I'm in bed and my wife starts hitting me and she goes, "You're peeing on me." No, I'm kidding. That part did not happen.
Oh, I'm about to say, I'm like, that'd be a lot. Yeah.
That'd be way too much. But no,
that'd be way too much pee.
But like just a little bit got out. Enough to where, okay, I wet the bed. But
so you woke up with a start, I'm sure, because you felt
I felt it happening
in real life, and you're like,
real life.
I'm really doing it.
It's like I'm having a dream about using the restroom. Except my body is functioning that way, except I'm not in the restroom. I'm in my bed just as per usual. And it was insane. I woke up and I'm like, well, that's a thing. All right, and then I flipped because we have it. Just it's one of those things that you need like encouragement, and you know, it seems simple and mundane. Days since last bedwetting incident, and I had years and years on this thing, Ryan. I'm telling you, and so never thought there was dust on the numbers because it just never, you know,
no,
like once you get into multiple digits.
some little you know, shoe elf like came and put another number on every day. You know what I mean? So like the last number was usually like kind of newer, but then like, you know, it was just a lot. And then,
and you kind of forget about it. You figure it's there because it's just, you're so used to it. And then all of a sudden back, Brian McKnight back at 1, you know what I'm saying?
That you go back to 1. And when that bitch says 0, it's like the classic thing in a cartoon when they take all the pictures off the wall and you see where the pictures were, you know, because it's lighter there.
Yes.
Like that's what the numbers looked like. It was like 2,000 whatever days. And then now it's like blank, 0. And you're like, oh God, it's really sticking out.
Like we've painted over the wall, but we left the numbers there, so we didn't paint. We painted around it, kind of thing.
No, it's almost like an old school like manual scoreboard where they put the numbers in behind it. You know, like that is so interesting. So, I have to interrupt you really fast and say that I did the same thing about 2 years ago. Ooh. And I was too ashamed to talk about it. So like I commend your bravery.
Ooh.
It was almost the exact same thing.
Okay.
So I'm not wanted alone. To get up and pee. I had to pee. It was eerily similar actually to what you went through.
Okay.
I didn't want to get up to pee. In my case, I think I had hurt my ankle again. There was some like dumb reason why I was like, well, that's gonna suck to get up. So I just didn't.
Yeah.
And then I had this dream. I still remember the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that like I don't know if I was human in the dream. All I remember is that like I was against the ground.
All right.
And I had this like thing of like, oh, I'm just an animal. I pee whenever. You know what I mean? Like, so like I just pee like whenever like I have to pee or whatever.
Sure.
So I had this like feeling of like, oh, like I could pee right now. Like in my dream, I'm like, oh, I just pee right now because like I'm just in the grass. Like who gives a shit?
Right.
Like, or whatever. And I had the same thing where I felt the physical feeling of peeing, and I jumped. I was like, oh, it was like Axl Rose, you know what I mean? Like, you know, pumping out of bed all sweaty in that video, like, oh, you know. And in December rain or November rain, I woke up like, ugh, you know. And then I had like probably like a $50 sized like dot on the bed, and I was like, that happened.
It happened.
I did it.
I woke up and I was like, do I tell Shannon? I'm like, yeah.
You have to disclose that. I think you got to disclose it because the other party should have a say in how it's taken care of.
Right.
I think because we're not used to that.
Yeah.
I think if you and I were heavier drinkers, a lot of my friends that are heavy drinkers, like they have a million stories about waking up and piss. I think you and I, it's you know. So I think you know peeing yourself when you're drunk and you're asleep. I think that's like a thing, but you and I don't drink a lot, so we usually don't have that story.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
But like when I was when I was cutting sugar, when I got diagnosed with diabetes and I was cutting sugar, I had a weird side effect where I would sweat, like my lower, like basically robot from the waist down kind of shit. Like like my boy Easy. I would sweat from like my knees to my waist. So like my thighs, my legs, all my butt, everything like that would just sweat. So I woke up so many times in the morning and thought I had peed myself.
Right.
Straight up. Like, because it felt wet. And I'm like, what the fuck? Nothing on the sheets. So I get up. And then, of course, like once I move around, like I'm wearing my boxer briefs. So I'm like in the bathroom going like, I'm feeling them. I'm like, well, they're not like wet like you peed. Yeah. And they would dry out. And I go, oh, that's just sweat.
Yeah.
And I think it was a reaction to like going from sugar to literally no sugar.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there was a period of like 2 weeks where like most of the time I'd wake up and I'd have that fear that I did it. And then I'd be like, nope. Cause I actually like peel my boxers off myself and be like, oh yeah, that's just the cling. That's not, you know, wet. And then I'd have to like shower after because that's nasty and everything. And it was kind of cooler outside. So it was one of those things where you try to get away without showering like every day. But then you're like, well, not now.
Not now.
Not on sweaty pants.
Nope.
Anyway, I commend your bravery on talking about the story, Eric. That's why you walked so I could run and tell my pee story. that was so similar to yours.
Yeah.
And the minute you said that you peed in real life and you felt that, like,
Right.
I felt that viscerally, because that's literally the feeling I had. I could feel pee coming out of me, and there's like it happens in like a millisecond where you go, I'm dreaming. No, I'm not. That's real life. I peed the bed. Like, this all hits you in like a flash, and you're left with what you made.
You're left with what you made. Speaking of left with what you made, guys, chat is killing me.
I haven't.
John Clemens with it's your boy Peasy.
Oh shit, boys!
Oh, that's so good. And yeah, and with the calling the $20 on the dreaming about peeing. So good job. Oh, and Fort D's Nuts was great too. By the way, I think that was M. I gotta scroll up. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was M. So thank you, chat. But that's exactly why what I told Shannon. I was like, because I gotta represent for the gangsters across the world. Peeing in them corners of the bed, something, girl, maybe. I don't know. I lost the flow. But anyway, okay. I was trying to appropriate the song, but it fell apart. But yeah, she's like, you're not gonna talk about this on the show, are you? I'm like, absolutely gonna talk about this on the show. This is what we're here for. Like, this is what people come to us for, the realness.
Absolutely.
And so it means a lot that I helped. Just if it's just you, then that's awesome. If it helps a Turtletarian, let us know. turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Let us know your pee stories.
M said the boys are getting older, and I'm like, fair.
That's
like
true.
I don't think it's that.
No.
I think that you run the risk. You run the risk every day, I think.
Yes.
I think just now what I will say about getting older, I think, is the fact that, like, when I was younger, I did just get up and pee. Like, there was no question. I'm like, oh, I got to pee. I'm going to go pee. Oh, I got 30 minutes left to sleep. Blah, back to sleep.
Yeah.
When you get older, I think one thing that does happen is you're a lot more like, I don't want to get out of bed. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And you push it, I think.
Yeah.
Your hair is something else right now, Eric, by the way.
Oh, thanks. There's no telling what it's doing.
You did a thing. You went like, and then it went like, pff.
Yeah. It's a loose, crazy bun. But let's see. Besides peeing in the bed, I have been still playing Red Dead 2 and loving it. And it's wild. And I'm trying to tailor my my speech patterns to be like Arthur, to be like Shaw. Sure. I haven't got it yet, but like,
well, Miss Daisy.
Well, Ms. Grimshaw. I can't.
Miss Grimshaw.
Dutch. I can kind of get that a little bit, but like when he says
Dutch, what the hell's this?
Sure. I got, because I gotta nail that, because the way he does it doesn't sound passive aggressive. It sounds like
it doesn't,
because now kind of has a weird connotation. But
he's good.
With that dead bed too.
Dead bed.
So yeah, I'm absolutely loving that. And
so the really fast answer. So one to answer the question about how you figure it out with the peeing thing. The cool thing about having kids is that we still had like a dusty bottle of 409 urine cleaner. It's made by 409, but it's specifically made for like counteracting urine when the kids were like really, really little.
Isn't that a Beach Boys song? 409.
Oh shit!
Is that what that song's about?
Cleaner. Yeah.
That's gonna come back in a second.
I went and got that. It's a black bottle. It feels like it'd be the urine cleaner bottle. And I went and I found it was under the sink, dusty as shit. And I was like, all right, boys, let's go. And I went in there and like sprayed it down and like all that stuff, washed the sheets. But we had the urine cleaner bottle.
That's amazing. Well, speaking of the Beach Boys, this leads me to my next thing. So, one of the biggest little small market things that happen around here, they asked us to do a like a produce stand kind of thing, but it's like a lot bigger than that, and they're movers and shakers in the town.
Produce stand.
Yes, they asked us to do a market. That we've been doing a bunch of these, and my wife plans a bunch of them, and so she did, and we did it, and they wanted it to be 60s 70s kind of a plant market, so it was flower powered with the theme. So we went through and we found a bunch of
dirty. dirty hippies. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. We found a bunch of 60s and 70s songs, and you forget things like that The Cure is a 70s band. Like, you forget that, like...
Technically.
Technically, yes. Like 70s. And it's like...
You can throw on Boys Don't Cry and, like, be okay.
It still kind of works.
You have your facts.
Right.
So this is like Three Imaginary Boys, and everyone's like,
yeah.
Oh, 80s shit. You're like, well, if you look at the dates,
yeah,
it's 1978.
Copyright. Yeah. So that was fun. But as I'm playing the songs, and we've probably talked about this before, but it just came back to me where it's that thing where those pop songs back then, if you want to hear those lyrics, they're super sweet, but if you don't, they're creepy as hell. And
it can be really weird.
It just kept happening more and more, and it's like, I'm in your bed, I'm in your window, I'm peeing in your bed, and it's like, if it's from a significant other, sure, that's fine, but if it's from a stranger, you don't need that, and that was killing me. So that was a lot of fun just to go through that, and then the only other thing is I've actually watched some movies, which was cool. We watched.
Oh my god!
I know. We watched the Electric Jesus movie, which is kind of like, if there was a not as funny, but kind of funny, but it was a weird mockumentary of Christian bands in the 80s.
Okay.
And stuff. And it's fascinating. And it's got Judd Nelson, I think, is in it. And then...
that's cool.
Yeah. And then, what's his name? The guy that spills the chili in The Office, whatever his name is. He's the bigger dude that was tall.
Kevin. I don't know his real name.
Dude. He's in it. He's their tour manager, and
that's cool.
The big reason I wanted to watch it was because the main guy who wrote it and directed it and everything, he wrote all the lyrics, but he got Daniel Smith, who does Danielson Family and all that, to do the music for it, and just and so I was like really interested in that, and it was good. It was fine, and it wasn't like Spinal Tap, but it was still entertaining and cringy and all that fun stuff. Precisely. Let's see, what else did I watch? We watched the other night we watched what is it called? Night Shift with Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler and Shelley Long, where they become pimps because they work in a morgue at night. And and it's like amazing. I love it because Michael Keaton is just unhinged and just wonderful. And then last night we watched The Birdcage for the first time, and that was interesting. And I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
I'll tell you now, it's based on a play, and that will make the whole thing. If I knew that going in, I should have known that based on context clues. But at the end, it says based on a play, and I'm like, okay. Now my framework the jokes would have hit better in certain things.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't have thought this guy was such a jerk the whole time for some reason. I think having the context of it being a play, it would have made sense. But seeing Robin Williams, that gets you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much been my life, Ryan. What have you haven't done much. You've just been around.
No, I just drove 3,985 miles over the course of 19 days. I've so frustratingly close to 4,000 that it was just actually irritating. Like I almost like did laps, to get to 4,000, because one rule that Alicia, so we were on a baseball book / baseball stadium tour of the east side of this country.
Yeah.
And for to support her book, The Art of Catching Feelings, which is available in all cool bookstores, and it's a baseball romance. So we went on this big road tour, and the idea was to do events in a bunch of cities for the book, and also to try to see as many baseball teams in different stadiums as we could. So drove the whole way, and I made a list of where we went and one cool thing that happened in each of those places. Okay,
I want to hear.
Try to make it concise, because I don't want to go on forever, because I can talk forever about it.
Right.
And I know this is almost like watching somebody's vacation slides back in the day.
Yes.
So I'm going to try to bring the funny. Okay, but here we go.
Okay.
So we started off at the Tropicana Field event. Which did we do a podcast after that?
I was just wondering. I don't remember if we did.
I don't know.
But
the Rays
do it
teamed
because
up
it was
with,
that night. It was a Thursday night, which is why we.
It was a Thursday, and then I couldn't do the podcast. I don't think after that, because we were getting ready to go. So I don't think we did it. So the Rays, shout out to the Tampa Bay Rays, are amazing. teamed up with Tombolo Books and had Alicia's book launch at Tropicana Field, and Eric was there, as well as
fun.
Father Preston and so many people. And so Eric and Shannon were there, very supportive, made little buttons for Alicia, which was very sweet.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we got to do all that at the Trop. It was so cool. And then not much longer. What?
I want to interrupt you and shout you out. You did something really freaking cool. You did so we're at the Trop, and Alicia, Ryan's wife, is doing her book signing, and then there's a table to the other side of them where Ryan is at, and he's getting everyone to sign little baseball cards. And I don't know, you might talk more about this in a second, but my favorite thing is that, and this is that attention to detail, that's that turtle soup shit that this is why blood of my blood right here. That instead of Tops, it said your wife's maiden name, and which was Tomps, so like for Thompson, and
it said
that's
Tomps, but it's in the Tops logo.
That was so freaking good. It was so good. And so
yeah,
that was amazing.
So we had the idea because we wanted something to remember the tour by and stuff. So we went through different evolutions of like, maybe we get everyone to sign a baseball bat, and we're like, well, that's too many people to sign one bat. Then maybe we get them to sign copies of the book, but then it's like, and write all over it. But then it's like, well, then that's like 8 copies of the book and weird play. Like, what are you doing with that?
Right.
Then Alicia had the idea of having them like write little messages, and then that turned into little blank baseball cards. So I graphically designed a bunch of baseball cards that had a border, like a 2-tone border that was in the colors of the teams of the cities we're going to. So the Trop was Rays colors. Then I put the name of the stadium and the city underneath it.
That's so
and
good.
Then I thought, I started laying out the Tops logo in the top corner. Then maybe I went like Tomps.
Yeah.
So I went to Alicia and I was like, would you be mad instead of Tops if I put Tomps, but I put it in the same, like with 2 P's? So it looks like Tops. And her famous quote was, she goes, I'd be really upset if you didn't do that.
Yes.
So I did that. So that's on all the cards. So yeah, so we had people sign little blank cards, and we basically, my pitch during the whole tour was, and now it's actually happened. It's going to become a baseball tour yearbook. So you write a message, and I have every color of G2 Pilot G2 pen available, every single color, and was like, write your little message. And I had a little suggestion box, and you like popped it in the little suggestion box.
Yeah.
Well, we kept that going through the whole tour. I met so many awesome people doing that.
That's legit.
And I'm in my element because I'm talking to people and I'm shooting the shit and I'm like running it. And those just flew by to me. Like those moments. Like at the Trop, we got like 70 cards. And I just felt like it was like
now, please tell me cards. Please tell me you're going to get them sleeved and everything and have them in a binder, right?
So not sleeved, but they are already in a baseball card binder.
Okay.
Alicia already ordered it.
Okay.
You'll be happy to know that you and Shannon's cards are on the first page from the Trop event. I like your card said something like, I'll save you the suspense and tell you this is your boy Easy or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it was like really funny.
And then Shannon did the lyrics to Fastball.
The Way by Fastball. Yeah, which is like a big song in the book, which is really great. But yeah, that event was insane. The Rays were so awesome. And that was like we called it our, home opener. So we had all these people write on these baseball cards, and that's what I would do for the rest of the tour. So at all the book events, Alicia would sign,
right,
and then I would be after the signing, and I'd be like, "You want to sign a baseball card?" And I ran this pitch like the baseball yearbook, and everyone thought it was so cute. I ran it so many times, so many cards. And now they're in the baseball card binder, and it's ridiculous. I haven't gone through it yet because like I haven't had a chance to sit down with it, but like I really want to because people wrote the funniest stuff and they drew stuff, and all of a sudden like all these like artists come out of the woodwork. Like somebody's like, "Oh, like I just drew Asa from her other book," and I'm like, "That's really fucking good." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I dabble," and I'm like, "What?"
Sure.
And then they're like, "Bye." I'm like, "Thanks for coming out." Like, holy shit, So yeah, we did that at the Trop, and it was really great. Then we went on the tour. So we drove to Durham, North Carolina first.
Okay.
And that was just a halfway stop point to DC because we didn't want to tackle that whole drive at once. Now at Durham, we saw the Durham Bulls once again. Love the Durham Bulls. They're the Rays AAA minor league affiliate. So we got to see some Rays AAA boys. We got to go back to Durham Bulls Athletic Park. I love that place.
Yeah.
Here's where our first story starts.
Okay.
And Eric, you're not going to believe this shit.
Oh, jeez.
I saw the weirdest thing I've ever seen at a baseball game. And I've seen weird stuff, man. I've seen a kid get his popcorn or his cotton candy taken away by his mom because he was being bad, and he just ate a booger instead. I saw that at a baseball game. I saw a drunk guy carrying 4 beers, none of which made it to his seat. One was drunk on the way. The other 3 fell down the aisle. I watched a river of beer flow down the stairs at the Trop. I watched that happen.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things happen, weird things happen at baseball games. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Ooh,
so we get there, and it's in the seats. It's me in the aisle seat, then Alicia to my right. Then we're there by ourselves for a long time. Then this older guy, I'm going to call him Grandpa for purposes of the story.
Sure.
And a younger kid he looks maybe late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
And they sit down, and this kid sits down right next to Alicia. Now, he's a bigger guy. And I don't know if something's going on with him. I mean, something had to be. I don't really know. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but like the game was kind of to our left a little bit. So he was kind of leaning over and kind of like using the armrest and getting kind of on Alicia. So she was moving more toward me. And I asked her several times, I'm like, you want to switch seats? Because I'll sit next to this guy and that'll stop because I'm as big as he is and he ain't going to lean on me, you know?
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And I think that she definitely had a feeling of like, he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's all good. Everyone wants to enjoy a baseball game. I'm not going to make a thing. I was like, all right, cool. So I offered her several times. It didn't work. Well, at one point, she gets up to go to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, would you, like, is it cool if I leave my bag here and you watch it? I'm going to use the bathroom. Yeah. Now, the only thing this bag had in it was a copy of her book because she was taking pictures of her book in all the stadiums.
Right.
And maybe a bottle of water. I don't know. Like, nothing's in the bag, really. So she sets it on the ground and she gets up. Now, I realize at this point that weird kid now, Grandpa's gone. I don't know where Grandpa is, but it's just me and this guy.
Right.
I'm watching the game, and I notice he's always leaning a little bit toward Alicia, but now he really leans kind of forward and down.
What?
And he's kind of looking at the game, but he's looking down at the bag. Now, all this time I'm munching down on popcorn, as is my 6th inning tradition, as you do as an American. I'm just like shoveling popcorn in my mouth, having the best time of my life, watching baseball. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. You know, fuck you, Blue. That was a terrible call. Ha, ha, ha. But I'm watching this guy because he's leaning and he's got his elbow on the edge of the thing. Now his hand is kind of hanging over the bag.
Yeah.
And he's leaning. I'm looking down going, are you going to make a move on that bag, dude?
Right.
Like in my head, I'm going, are you going to make a move on my wife's bag?
Yeah.
While I'm right here. And you know, baseball seats are kind of tight. So I mean, I can swat this guy in the face from where I'm sitting. I mean, we're that close. So I'm like, are you really going to make a play on the bag? Well, the game's getting good. And I'm kind of, he keeps leaning down further and further and looking over toward where Grandpa was. Nobody's looking.
Right.
Kind of never looks at me weirdly, but looks like anywhere else, almost like I'm about to do some shit. And I'm like, so at this point in my head, I'm not joking. In my head, I go, just make the play.
Yeah.
Just make your play.
Just do it. Yeah.
Because the loops of the bag are closer to my feet.
Right.
And I'm already ready the minute he goes down for the bag to just snatch the bag up.
Yeah.
Just snatch it up, be like, and not even say anything. Be like, you're a weird dude.
Yeah. Just
maybe fight over this, but like, you ain't getting in the bag. I don't know what you want with the bag, but it's weird. He leans forward. And I'm like, he's going to make the play. So I'm ready. I'm going to get my right hand's like twitching, kind of like, I'm kind of like, I'm going to grab the fucking bag. Right. We're going to get, he's leaning.
I'm in.
He makes his play. Okay.
No.
He makes the play. My hand shoots out for the bag, but before he grabs for the bag, Eric, he grabs a piece of my dropped popcorn off of the ground.
That's so weird. Why?
And snatches it and then brings it up to his chest like this.
The piece of popcorn?
Looks around. Yep. Looks around again. Looks at me this time. I'm just looking at the game, like out of my side eye. I'm going, what the fuck? And he's like, eats that bitch. I said he did not eat that fucking thing off the ground. Holy shit.
This is insane.
So then Grandpa comes back, and this kid just sits up like nothing ever happened. Alicia comes back, and I lean into her ear, and I go, I just saw the weirdest shit I've ever seen at a baseball game in my life. And she goes, what? I'm like, I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. The way he just rolled that popcorn into his mouth so conspiratorially. I'm like, Grandpa ain't gonna buy you no popcorn, bro.
No.
Like, what's the story?
Right.
So remember popcorn story, because this actually feeds into a thing later. But that was Durham. Durham's great. Then we drove to DC. And DC was great. The event at DC was great. The Nationals were out of town, so we couldn't see the Nationals, even though it was so annoying because the hotel we stayed at in DC was like literally right next to one of the Nationals parking lots. We couldn't walk to the game. But it's like they weren't in town.
Yeah.
It's all good. DC was really cool. I was in DC. I met a really good new friend in DC. Alicia always jokes that I make good friends outside when I'm smoking, because I do.
Oh, you always do.
I don't want to get political. I'm just going to say I think everybody had the same reaction. We were on the road during the debate, during the famous Biden-Trump debate. Yeah. I was wondering how it went. We got checked in the room. It was kind of late. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, man. It's like midnight, 1. I'm like, I'm going to go downstairs, have my last little smoke. I'm going to go upstairs, but I'm going to watch the beginning of this debate. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I got my earbuds in. I'm sitting down and watching this.
Okay.
If you've seen the debate, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I start going, fuck. And it gets worse. Biden keeps getting worse. And I'm like,
yeah.
No. And I'm like, willing this not to happen. I'm like, just straighten up, dude. Straighten up. And he's like, well, you know, and I'm like, holy shit. So there's a guy sitting down the way on his laptop, like many seats away from me.
Yeah.
He was kind of looking at me a little bit because I'm saying things out loud.
Yeah.
Like I kind of can't control it.
Yeah.
So I take out my earbuds and his laptop's playing and he's listening to the debate, but he's way ahead of me. He's like, I can tell he's ahead of me in the debate because they've gotten to stuff I haven't gotten to yet.
Right.
And I look at him and I go, and we're in DC, okay? So like, you know,
so
the home of American politics. So I look at this guy, I go, you watching the debate? And he's like, yep. He pauses it. Yeah, what's going on? I go, you're farther than me, man. Does it get better? He goes, it gets worse. And I'm like,
yep. Okay.
That's cool. So me and him have started having a conversation about how awful everything was. And turns out this guy's name is Cole. Super cool. He was my smoke buddy when I was in DC.
Ooh.
He was in town. Are you ready for this? I love this. He's wearing a shirt. It says NOAA, you know, like the weather, you know, NOAA.
Yeah.
GOES satellite mission launch team. He works on the GOES satellite for NOAA. He's worked on all 4 of the satellites. They just launched 4 out of the Cape.
Yeah.
He's in DC at the NOAA offices he is a thermal engineer on the satellite. He is there supervising maneuvers as the satellite gets in its final orbit.
That's
and
sick.
We started talking space stuff, man, and it was sick because your boy was not prepared for how prepared I was to talk about space.
Right.
And he's like talking all about it. He goes, well, you know, I work for Lockheed Martin, but
you know,
blah, blah. I'm like, you were Lockheed Martin, what the hell? And then he's talking about SpaceX and how it is to like fly as a customer on a SpaceX rocket and like what they do and what they don't do. And they have these problems with the air conditioning and the fairing, and the satellite was getting too hot and he's thermal. So he would have to scrub the launch if it got too hot. And I'm like, and we're talking about space. It was such a good conversation too, because everybody here knows I'm a liberal. It's fine. But I love the idea. And I truly believe that like politically, the average people are way closer together than the politicians want us to believe we are. I think that we can all agree on so much stuff, and that we are drawn and polarized by politics, by the politicians themselves.
Right.
This guy is a classic case of that. Right winger, doesn't love Trump, but he's conservative. I'm liberal. We had a lot of good conversations about politics, saw eye to eye on a ton of stuff, and he was really cool. He was a super cool guy. So the last thing about him is, so we talked all about space. Well, it's the last night, you know, and I'm like, all right.
Okay.
I'm like, well, hey, bro, it's been good. I'm going out, I'm leaving in the morning. He's like, all right, man. He goes, I'm here for a few more days. I'm going back home. All right, man. So we walk upstairs. We take the elevator up together. You know, we're both on the same floor.
Ooh.
And this is so stupid. We both just do the dude thing where we go like, all right, man, hey, man, good. I'm like, hey, good luck with the maneuvers and everything. And he's like, dude, like, good luck on your baseball tour, man. Like, be safe. I'm like, all right, brother, see you later, man.
Yeah.
We never got any information on each other.
Yeah, no.
So then
That's ridiculous.
I'm telling Alicia on the drive, I'm like, oh, my buddy. I was like, I never got, I should have asked him for something. Well, Alicia used all the information that I told her, found him. I got him on Facebook.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's like, dude, I felt so bad not getting your contact information because like, dude, and I was like, oh, bro. He's like, I don't know why we just like real manned it. And I'm like, I don't know why we did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we still text now.
That's
and it was really cool.
That's super.
So shout out to Cole.
I love that.
Hell yeah, Noah Satellite goes for, you know what I'm saying? They're doing the thing.
That's awesome.
I told him personally, thank you on the behalf of all Floridians, because the technology those satellites do is they can tell lightning strike patterns very accurately. They're responsible for. You ever notice how on weather forecasts, like 4 or 5, 6 years ago, they started showing all the lightning strikes near your area? That's him. That's those satellites.
Oh,
they actually can do that. And they use that to forecast if there's tornadoes. And they use lightning strikes to show tornado activity, which is why we have much more accurate tornado updates. And I said, thank you on behalf of all Floridians, because we need that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was that was super cool.
That is awesome.
And the event in DC went great.
Okay.
So then we drove to Baltimore, and it was hot as shit. Went and saw Camden Yard, beautiful stadium, saw the Orioles. It was awesome. Hot, so damn hot. Yeah. I understood on that trip, Eric, why Yankees die when it's hot. I finally realized why. Because you always hear about, as a Southerner, you good?
Yeah. Well, Pro Tools decided to stop recording. So.
Oh, okay. You want to resume recording, or
I don't know why it's not, but we've got the audio from the. I'm recording on the thing as well as yeah.
Okay.
And also it's got we got it on the YouTube thing, so I could take it from that too. So
okay.
Yeah. So we.
All right. Sorry, man. I saw your face like fall, and I'm like, oh, you don't like Baltimore. But yeah, no. I always heard that like Yankees, like it'd be like anybody up north, it'd be like, oh, summer, sweltering heat wave in the Northeast as temperatures hit as high as 92, 2 dead, 5 injured, and I'm like, from it being 92 degrees, like, dude, in Florida it's like 99, and we just roll.
Right.
Then I walked around Baltimore, and I realized why. You can't get cool.
Oh.
I know this sounds stupid. Everyone from up north is like, yeah, no shit. This is why, dude.
Right.
In Florida, you are only a Walmart away or any building with a shop in it away from 72 degrees.
Right.
So as hot as you get, you can go inside of any store, a Starbucks or whatever. Bitch is 72, you cool down and you reset, right? Not up there. We walked around, went to several local bookstores. You walk up, you see that door wide open, you know what the story is. Yeah. There's just fans in there.
Jeez.
Went to a coffee shop, had some AC. It might have been 85 in there.
Yeah.
Then I realized you just can't cool down. Nowhere you go is there anything.
Right.
And you just eventually succumb. And I was telling Alicia that, and she's like, yeah, I didn't really get it either. And I'm like, yeah, we always joke down here. I hate to tell y'all Northerners, but we joke about how, 10 dead, 12 missing after after the temperature went to 93 degrees. And we're like, what the fuck? Oh, the 5th straight day of 90s. And I'm like, what?
Right.
What? We're in the 5th straight month of 90s. And then I'm like, oh, because you can't cool down ever. Yeah. Jeez. So it was super hot.
Yeah. That's
then we went to Philly, and I had a real Philly cheesesteak at the Philadelphia Phillies game.
Okay.
And it was awesome. Tony Luke's, you know what I'm saying? I was told by several locals that it is a model cheesesteak, that it is maybe not the best one.
Right, but it
is kind of like in Tampa, there's Cuban sandwiches, they're just good.
Yeah.
And then there's Cuban sandwiches that are like fucking crazy.
Right.
I got a good Philly cheesesteak with a cheese whiz, onions, the whole 9 yards. Delicious. Loved it. I see what the hype's all about.
Okay.
It was salty, delicious. It was super good. Citizens Bank Park was probably my favorite stadium I saw the entire time. Their stadium is bonkers cool, and that was sick. Then we drove to Brooklyn. Went to Brooklyn, first time in New York.
I was about to ask. Yeah,
drove into New York. So at night, it was 1 a.m. Drive over the Long Island Bridge, and I'm in Brooklyn. That was fucking nuts.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
That was like, what am I doing? Immediately got honked at for not running down a 12-year-old girl trying to cross the street.
Oh yeah,
and
you're supposed to
have
do that.
no regrets.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't do it. It's fine. Big shout out to KT Hoffman, who is an author of another awesome baseball romance called The Prospects. He made us feel super at home in Brooklyn. Have you been into Brooklyn? Have you messed around with Brooklyn?
Oh yeah, we walked all over Brooklyn, going to different
Okay.
record stores and stuff. So yeah, so I've been through a lot of that.
Did you get the same vibe that it was basically like Sesame Street?
Yes, but more deadly.
That Oscar the Grouch was going to pop out?
Absolutely. Yes.
Because we stayed in Park Slope and walked all around that area, and I really felt like at any moment with like the little trees and the little stoops and stuff, I felt like at any moment the next trash can was Oscar's trash can.
Right.
And I was going to see like Big Burger like chilling on the stoop with like a blunt or something. Like
right.
it felt like Sesame Street. It was so. I don't know why. Every bit of Brooklyn felt like Sesame Street.
But it's a weird town. It's oddly like comforting and terrifying at the same time because everything's so close to each other, but also it's all the built-in paranoia that outsiders have seen from movies that sensationalized all the crime and everything. So
yeah, and Park Slope apparently is like super safe. So it's like I know there's probably areas of Brooklyn I didn't walk through, and I can't speak for all of it. I thought Brooklyn was great.
Yeah,
the event was awesome. Yeah, KT took us to his favorite diner, a little Brooklyn diner, and that was awesome. And really good stuff. And the only thing I saw, we rode the subway into the Bronx to see the Yankees, and the Yankees lost, so that was good.
Oh,
for everybody. You know, Yankee Stadium was kind of mid. Like, I'll be honest, like you always hear a lot of Yankee Stadium, and like I went there and it was kind of like,
it's just meh.
It's really good at getting a lot of people in and out of a ballpark, but it's somewhat unremarkable as a ballpark. The field's beautiful and stuff, but it just didn't feel like. I don't know. For Yankees fans that like roll up to the Trop and say the Trop is so awful, I'm kind of like, your stadium's a lot like the Trop if you just put a dome over it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I didn't see the oh my god, everything's bigger in New York. I mean, it's a big stadium, but it's not like it wasn't that cool as far as like cool little features. It was just kind of like a round building. It was
just there.
I don't know. It was there. I mean, I saw the Yankees. It was cool. I mean,
I remember seeing
it was awesome.
When we went to Boston, I remember thinking that, oh, this is pretty big, but that's I think the only real baseball stadium that I've been to.
Oh yeah,
like, we didn't go in
Fenway.
Yeah.
I really want to see Fenway. I really want to go into Fenway. Fenway,
if you go, they might still
that's a ballpark.
They might still have a turtle soup sticker outside because.
I
should have told you to keep an eye out because when we go places, Shannon and I, we plaster them everywhere. So
nice. Let's see. And then I saw a guy playing with a taser on the subway. Scared the shit out of me. That was the only. He was just going with this taser, and I'm like, he's sitting across from me, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude! Like, what are you about to do? He's like, there was his like drunk ass girlfriend.
Yeah,
and then he got off the train before she did, and she's like, I love you, me, and he's like, oh, see you, call me, and then he goes outside, and like you can see him through the windows on the platform. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I did drive away. Then his drunk ass girlfriend's lonely because she ain't got her boyfriend anymore. So then she does the most New York thing I've ever seen, where she looks around, kind of, she's like, you could tell she's like, what's going on? I thought she like waiting for her stop or something.
Right.
Takes out a little bottle of Listerine, puts it in her mouth, starts swishing it. I go, well, her stops, she's obviously from here. She knows her stop is like in like literally a second. So she's probably going to get out and like spit it in a garbage can or something like that. Well, she's swishing and train's still going. I look up at the little map. We're not scheduled to stop for another like 3 stops. And she gets up and spits that shit between the door and the door frame of one of the subway, just right at the foot of the damn door. Looks around once, twice, and then goes and sits back down. Now the next stop is her stop.
Okay.
But it was like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away. I'm like, what were you thinking?
Right.
Anyway, she was drunk. I mean, that's all there was to that.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then I thought this is going on really long. I apologize.
No,
I'm going to blaze through the rest.
Yeah.
We went to Nashville. So we drove from there to Nashville, which was a forever drive.
Yes.
And we got to see the Nashville Sounds, which are the AAA affiliate for the Brewers. And that's where I got this hat.
I was about to ask. That looks like a new hat.
Because in Nashville, they have the hot chicken, right? That's their Nashville hot chicken's their whole thing. One of the Nashville Sounds alternate uniforms, they play as the Nashville Hot Chickens. And this is the hat they wear, which is a hot chicken sandwich with pickles on bread. And this is the hat they wear when they're the hot chickens.
That's fantastic. I love that. I'm all about that. That's beautiful.
August also got a hot chickens hat because he was that taken.
That's amazing.
And he got his first. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. No. So my kids and my parents met us in Nashville. We stayed in Nashville in like a Verbo for like 6 days with them.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we had like a mini little family vacation in the middle of all this. So the kids met up with us with my parents.
Okay.
And Nashville's great. We got to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And that was super sweet. And and then there's only 2 more stops. There was St. Louis, which was insane. Never been to St. Louis, obviously. I mean, I've never been to fucking Brooklyn. I don't think I'd ever been to Nashville before either. So I mean, these are all new to me.
Okay.
I really like St. Louis a hell of a lot more than I thought I would.
I know.
I saw the Cardinals there. Busch Stadium was like a lot of fun.
Oh.
And then we walked because we were standing really close to the Gateway Arch. You know, the big arch.
Yeah.
Which, have you seen that shit in real life?
Not in real life.
I bet you just shit, dude.
Yeah.
You drive in over the bridge. There's like one bridge into St. Louis.
I thought that
was
over
the river there.
That's not the bridge that gets you there?
No, dog. That's not the bridge you drive over. No, dog.
Okay, my bad.
No, because they had to put it off to the side so it like makes you feel like you're in like Star Trek San Francisco when you roll up on it because it looks like something from Star Trek. It's huge.
Star
and you're
Trek
like
San Francisco.
So dead ass. Like so, it is 630 something feet tall. It is twice the height of the Statue of Liberty.
That's a tall bitch.
Like it usually go, oh fuck, right? So it's like just such a tall bitch. So we see that and we're like, wow. Then we pull into our hotel and I know we didn't drive very far. So we're like, let's walk down to the arch.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Walk down to the arch. We're underneath it. I'm like, man, look at this big ass arch. I'm like, that's cool. Then I was like, hey, what's this under here? And I see there's doors leading out from underneath it. I'm like, doors? And then it says exit only.
Oh,
I'm like, exit from the arch?
Where? The arch?
What the fuck, right? So then it says, oh, welcome center this way. A little arrow. I'm like, so we walk up to this bitch, Eric. And if you guys knew this, if you're more cultured than me, then I'm a real dumbass. I was that day years old when I discovered, number one, there is an entire underground museum under the arch. Did not know that.
I didn't know this either.
Since 2015, it's been under the control of the national parks. It is the country's smallest national park. It is all run by park rangers, which they're all underground, which is kind of weird. They're like, park rangers. And we're like, what? You're underground. It's free to get in. There's a huge ass museum that really tells the story of the Gateway Arch pretty well. I mean, from the beginning of how Lewis and Clark left from that area and how they were there, and then they built the arch. Then this whole thing about how they built the arch, which was insanity. Yeah, because some guy just walked in and was like, they got a grant to build some kind of monument to the westward expansion on that land by the river, and they're like, cool. And they were like, bring us your designs, and like 4 ass people brought like, well, here's a little building, and then here's a couple little things. And this cat walks in with like the arch. And if you see, they have all the models they originally brought in. His thing is like huge. Yeah. And then they're like, you win. How do we build it? And he's like, we're going to work on that. That's intense. Yeah. And so they figured out how to build it after they decided to build it, which is the most American thing I've ever heard of.
Absolutely.
So we're going into this thing. They're like, free museum. They're like, you can see a movie about the building of it for like $15 and all proceeds go back to the park. I'm like, that's cool.
Okay.
You can also get a led around the museum by a ranger. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Park rangers or something
Then that bitch said, Eric, tram ride to the top. 15 bucks. I went, I said this right in front of a park ranger who's like, I go, you can go inside that shit? And this woman looks at me and goes, yes, sir. There's a tram you can take all the way to the top and then come back down. It's 15 bucks. I looked at Alicia and she's like, sign us up.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there and sure as shit, the museum's cool as hell.
Yeah. You
learn all about the tram itself was built in the late 60s. Dude, it is wild, bro. It's a set of 4 pods.
Okay.
That run up the inside legs of the arch.
Okay.
And inside that pod, you're in a pod. So it's like a dome inside a dome situation.
Right.
And it turns as you go up the arch. So it stays level as the arch pitch changes. You stay level inside the thing.
That's amazing.
Goodness. So we get in that little thing. It feels like an Apollo capsule.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, you're riding up and you see inside the legs, there's stairs, there's dudes like welding and working on shit. You're like, what? I didn't even know the arch was hollow.
Yeah.
I thought it was just metal, dude. Like, of course. No, Eric, we rode to the top and we were in the keystone right where it bends over in the middle, just taking pictures of shit. And then they're like, get back on the tram. And we go back down. It takes 3 minutes to get up and down that shit. And then we walk out. I'm like, I went into the gateway arch. What the hell?
Yeah. What now? What now?
And at Alicia's book event that next day, she said, like during her like in conversation interview thing, she said, she goes, well, my husband and I were yesterday years old and we figured out you can go inside the gateway arch.
Yeah.
And they're all from St. Louis. They all start laughing.
So they all knew. Yeah.
And she said something like, you guys are burying the lead on the gateway arch. You talk about the gateway to the world, gateway to the West, St. Louis, city of friendship. You need to start with St. Louis. You can go to the top of the arch.
Yeah.
Like that's you need to start
Tourism,
right there.
Through the roof.
Tourism. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So we did the event. The event was awesome. So good. So many people came out.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, I got to link up with Jake the Clarifier.
Oh my goodness. I saw that.
This happened. We were messaging about it. I said, hey bro, I'm in town. And I gotta say this about Jake and Sierra. Not only are they awesome people.
Oh,
they came to the book.
Yeah.
Waited forever because the signing line was the longest we had, I think, on the tour, besides maybe the drop. It was just forever. And at one point I messaged them because I knew they were hanging around because we talked about getting dinner after. And I said, I was like, guys, I'm really sorry. Like, this is real long. They're like, dude, no problem, man. Like, this is awesome. Like, take your time. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
He had me sign a Turtles coloring book he got.
I saw that.
Yeah. That's
so good.
I told Alicia later, I'm like, I've never signed anything in person for someone.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, because we've signed
I look at her,
things
she's
for
got a
Patreon.
Sharpie. Yeah, we signed things for Patreon, but I have a Sharpie and I have a time to think about it.
Right.
She just like has a little thing down to a science with a little Sharpie, like, oh, Alicia. And I'm like going, so I'm like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I chose a green G2 and just went with it. They waited till after the thing. They drove us to get pizza.
Ooh.
And we had a great time eating pizza. St. Louis style pizza is delicious.
Yeah.
It's like a thin crust. It's really flaky at the bottom. Got this different cheese called Prevel cheese.
Yeah.
Really good. I had the toasted raviolis, which are a St. Louis specialty that Sierra insisted we get.
Okay.
Worth it. They're basically like meat raviolis, but they're toasted with like seasonings. So they're not wet.
Good. Right.
It's really good.
Interesting.
So we had that and it was so awesome. They drove us back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And Jake and Sierra were great. And thanks, guys. I know Jake can't make the live. Apparently, he said this earlier, but
yeah.
When you go back and listen, Jake,
so jealous.
Thank you so much. Make sure to thank Sierra because she was great. And you guys, I was telling them after the event, it's like 9 o'clock. You haven't had dinner yet. Yeah. You've just been overstimulated. Even me, I'm overstimulated because I'm just kind of like, whoa, oh shit. And you're coming down from it. And like Alicia and I usually stumble outside of the bookstore, like, bye, thanks a lot for the, thank you very much.
Right.
And then we look around like, food?
Right.
And we're like slow mentally. We're just like,
oh yeah,
let's go to the car first. Let's drop off the stuff. Like we have to really like handle ourselves. And Jake and Sierra, and also other author friends of hers, like KT, Nikki, and DC, they also helped in this way. But Jake and Sierra were so welcoming and like took us around and let us eat without having to think. And we had a great time. So thanks a lot, guys. That was fantastic. Then the last thing was we went to Atlanta on the way home, and I got to hang out with Jonathan O'Donnell and his wife Jackie.
Oh,
Jonathan, longtime listener of the show,
yeah.
Patreon, patron ranger.
Mm-hmm.
We got to hang around Little 5 Points, which is how I do all the criminal records, Jumpman's Daughter, Star Bar, Vortex. There's a new pizza place, Eric.
Oh,
in Little 5, dude.
Yeah.
It's called, we ate there. It's called Savage Pizza, bro. It's good. The logo, it says Savage Pizza, and there's a huge 1990s X-Men Sentinel, like holding the letters.
That's awesome.
And the whole thing is full of like 90s action figures, like hanging from the ceiling, like the really big ones. They have like turtles there. They have like all this comic art, all this stuff. It's a really cool pizza place.
That's
and it's
legit.
You know where it's like Vortex and then Jumpman's Daughter. Right next to Jumpman's Daughter in that same strip mall is Savage. So like it's just part of the whole line. So you can hit Wax and Tracks, you can hit like everything in the same area.
Right.
They were also similarly very comforting before the event. Because we were hanging out with them, went to the event, they hung out for a while, and then they had to get going home because they live about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
But yeah, having lunch with Jackie and Jonathan was great. And
that's cool.
Yeah, couldn't see the Braves because they were out of town.
Yeah.
And then we drove home, and I slept for a year, and then I'm still catching up on stuff.
I don't know why.
So thanks for all my long stuff.
I don't know.
But yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking y'all flew everywhere, but y'all drove. That's a totally different ball game.
We had a ritual where every 1,000 miles, we would listen to Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And when you listen to it that many times, you realize it's just a bad song. Like I knew it wasn't a great song, but like you get to like the science of why it's not a great song. And you're kind of like, man, this song is like 4 minutes. It needs to be like 2 minutes.
Needs to be 2 minutes, and would have been much better. The world would have been better for it. But
anyway, we had a really good time. Thanks to everybody who came out. Jonathan, Jackie, Jake, Sierra, all of Alicia's author friends, KT, Nikki, Laura, and I can't remember the name of people that met us in Philly. God, because there were so many people. They were great too. Got to eat in a real South Philadelphia tap room.
Oh,
it was like in the brownstones. It was like down in Philly, and I'm like sitting there like having a little screwdriver and my little looking around like, what the fuck? I'm in Philadelphia. That was all really cool. The trip was once in a lifetime. It was amazing. We got to see so many baseball teams and so many, the book events were great. And anybody listening, because I talked about the podcast a fair bit. So anybody from the book tour that is listening, thank you for signing a card and coming to my wife's event. You're great.
Yeah.
And you're
That's
in the
legit.
book. You're in the baseball book I talked about. So anyway, that was my whole round trip thing. And there was so much other stuff to talk about, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And but I missed everybody. I missed all the Turtletarians, and I got to make it up to 2 Turtletarians.
Right.
But there's the rest of you that I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
That's legit. Well, that's awesome. Anyway, it sounded like you had a blast, and
man, it was wild, dude.
That.
It was wild. But that kid eating that popcorn, man,
eating that popcorn. Oh my lord!
That kid doing the popcorn, man, I couldn't take it.
People
it was
are
too
weird.
much.
Well, you know what's not too much? These comics.
Too much?
These cereal comics. These comic cereals. I don't know how we're gonna describe this, but buckle up, everybody. It's time to talk turtles. So,
all right, let's see.
So, these
TMNT Cereal. Am I right?
Yeah. You know, like
it was.
Did you have it?
Was
Do you
so
remember
iconic.
having it?
I remember eating it. I remember getting it. I remember I didn't really like the cereal.
Ooh.
I was very opinionated on cereals. I went through. If it was fruity, it was for me. You know what I'm saying? Like no wonder kids in middle school call me Fruity to start with. You know what I'm saying? For other reasons, but Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, like those were my like go-tos. Apple Jacks. I didn't really get too much into the marshmallows of it all. So like, there's some of the texture of it. So I'm a Lucky Charms with some marshmallows. That's all good. I know I got the TMNT cereal at some point, but it wasn't even as big into the TMNT as I was.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of almost maybe felt like maybe it was too expensive or
Yeah.
something, because I know I got it, but it wasn't a regular. So either I didn't like it, or my mom was like, "That's not on sale."
Yeah.
That's how she'd
Yeah.
be back in the day too.
Oh,
So
of course. Yeah, my I was very spoiled, if that was the case, but I'm also very dedicated to a fan base. Like, I'm a mark for all this stuff. And so I definitely had it, because this is my which this will make an appearance in another episode too, but the turtle bowl that you could get. And yeah, we're thinking about incorporating this into some Patreon rewards. So we'll see, not to give it away, but just to make us do weird stuff out of it.
Doing OnlyFans where Eric and I use it on each other.
Like 2 podcasters, 1 bowl, And but yeah, I don't remember anything else about it except I remember the cover. Definitely remembered the cover of it, and I definitely remembered the bowls. But that's just a little bit of talk. We got to get some preliminary stuff out of the way with this, because we're just going to focus on the comics tonight. There's 3 issues of them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about some other, the actual cereal and the boxes and everything next episode. But just for those we might retread some ground here. But regardless, essentially this, the cereal thing ran from about 89 to 95, and it just at some time in there, I'm trying to think, it was early on, definitely early on, they put out these comics. And I'm gonna go over to our let me see, I got a button for this. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, so they put out these comics, and they're about the size of a baseball card, and they're 1 panel each. But the way that they're scanned here, there's our cool uncle scanned it to where they're 2
panels a page. Yeah,
exactly. And so yeah, the according to Turtlepedia, the story and art is done by Peter Laird. You might know him as the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, if you're familiar.
You might have heard of him.
It's a small guy. He didn't do a lot on it once he's created it. But then inks are allegedly by Ryan Brown. I believe there's some question about that, but don't quote me on that. And then the colors are by Steve Levine, which are tried and true, like, people. We know them, we love them. They big adventures people, Turtles adventures. Yeah, and so,
absolutely. And and Laird, funny enough, like, in the original Mirage Comics, not so known for his pencil work. Like, it's why when I was first reading this comic, I was like, this is Mirage staff. Like, I just felt it in my bones. I'm like, this isn't like some asshole working for Purina who's like, oh yeah, I'll draw something. I'm like, this is like a thing.
Yeah.
But it looked very like Mirage, but I couldn't put my finger. And then when I found out it was Laird, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Laird drawing in the animated series style.
Yeah.
Which produces some good results, because he does a good job.
He does.
Like he does a good job. It's just not as boxy. Like, Laird was always more rounded than Eastman is with his art. Eastman's very like blocky. So that's what threw me off a little bit. But I think that actually Laird's style matches the animated series style guide a little better than Kevin's.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think they pair very well. And these are apparently these at least according to I didn't do too much research on this, but according to a few things that I saw online. Did you, about the prices of them and how much they go for?
Oh no, I didn't do anything on that. I did a lot on Purina, which I
okay.
About.
I didn't know if do you want to save that for next episode, or do you want to do that now?
Oh, that's a good point, because we're gonna get more into the cereal next episode. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Let's save that.
Okay,
there's a lot to talk about the people who made this cereal.
Yes,
that I think is just fascinating. But yeah.
But what's neat about these comics, though, is that apparently they go for a pretty penny, like in the secondary market. Yeah, I didn't look it up, but I saw multiple places mention it. I don't know if they're all quoting the same thing, but like at least in 3 digits, some of these are, and yeah, that's kind of wild. And the reason being is because they feature the first appearances of 2 huge characters in Turtles lore, and that would be Wingnut and Man Ray. It's the technical first printed appearances of these 2 characters. And
what?
That's Yeah, that's because this would have come out probably 89, 90, 91 maybe. And so I believe that's what these issues or these mini comics are known for, as the first printed appearance of these two characters. And so that's more than likely why
cool.
One being obscure in the fact that they probably got thrown away
very
because
obscure.
they're
It's a limited
cereal
amount made,
right know. But also added on to that a first appearance of very big popular characters.
That does suggest a Ryan Brown, Steve Levine control over this project then.
Right.
Because they technically appeared more well-known in Adventures than anywhere else. So like that does lean on this being like at the era where the Mirage like farmhands, like Ryan Brown, Steve Levine were already starting to build the TMNT animated series comic universe that would become the Adventures universe.
Right. Exactly. And so it's pretty neat. So you want to get into it?
Yeah. Did you want me? I'll do the first one and we can go from there. Or did you want to do the first one?
Good. Let's talk about that we could, because I guess these have actual covers. They do. This thing that we're seeing right here.
We have to go back to our thing. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm gonna do it.
It's been so long.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna do the comics. So you describe the cover.
Okay, so this cover's pretty neat. It's got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles masthead, which is classic, and it just
the animated series masthead.
Yes, and it's got the number 1 beside it, and you got Leo, and you got your boy Baxter Stockman as the Fly, and he looks wild. I don't know. There's just something about him that just looks like feral, and more so than usual.
You get a glimpse, right? Because this is layered. If this is layered pencils, you get a glimpse into what that Baxter would have looked like in a Mirage comic. Like, so where you really see it, to me, I know this is such a weird thing, is his pants.
Yes.
That's so Mirage. That'd be in a Mirage comic today. Like, it is so Mirage. Like,
it is.
His clothes are very Mirage, and I'm like, that's like a little Mirage Baxter.
Yep.
And that's cool.
To
have layered draw Baxter Stockman. It's kind of cool.
As the Fly. Yeah, definitely.
As the Fly. Exactly. As the TAS 87 series, like Baxter the Fly, not Baxter Stockman, like evil as shit. Because layered was all over that guy.
The other thing that I think is neat is that I love the way that he did Leo's left-handed sword. So I have a pet peeve about swords and how they're turned some ways, and it irks me so much where
they're often turned wrong.
Exactly. And
which
these are turned
Eric to no end.
Right. And I thought that this one was too, but no, the orientation of his hand and how it is, it looks right. Like that looks the way it's supposed to.
It's like canted out.
Yes.
Which is the correct. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah. And so, and Leo looks fantastic. Now these do look a little rushed, but not to the point of Eric Larson's rushed job on Adventures that was just horrendous. Like, not that bad, but
Jim Lawson did a whole number that day. I was like, what happened? These also look like they were drawn. How do I put this? I think this was drawn 2 panels on an 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
Or not 8.5 by an 11 by 17 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
These look like small panels that were blown up to fit the trading card.
Yeah.
Which is why I think you see a lot of detail in the inking. Like, for our video listeners, you look at like Leo and look at his left knee. And you see ink spill from his inside thigh line into the knee pad.
Yeah.
This is indicative typically when you look at comic art of smaller art. The smaller it physically is on their 11 by 17.
Right.
You'll notice this if you read comics and let's say it's in the classic 9 panel, right? Like the 9 panel version, or you have 11 panels on a page. You'll start to see little stuff. I'm pointing at the screen like I can point for the viewer, which is hilarious. But you start to see little ink blotches, like so on Leo's left shoulder, where one line you could tell ink got a little bit out of control on the end of that. Yes, right there. the tip of his left sword, how the line gets really fat at the end,
Right.
and there's a bit of an error. So typically when something is really small, the ink does that, and then when it's blown up, you see all these imperfections, and that's what's telling me that this was drawn very small. It was quick too, I'm sure, but it was also drawn small and blown up. This is not a typical like 11 by 17 a page comic job. This is like very different for what they would do.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I mean, like a lot of good inking with the shades as well. I really like. God, I miss critiquing comic art. We haven't done.
We're
this
about
in
to
so
get
long.
back into it.
We are.
Yeah, it's not too far from now.
But yeah, cool cover though. Nice purple gradient in the back.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Okay.
All right. So once again, guys, these are really short. But the art is worth talking about. That Baxter flying above the city, just his face, and he looks like, honestly, I think he look in Mirage, which is kind of ugly and weird. Like every panel, he looks differently weird.
Yes.
And I always liked that about Mirage. I know that like in some of the interviews and some of the special editions they put out, that like Eastman and Laird both said like their art just wasn't that good. So like, so people criticize like April looks different in every panel, and they're like, "Fuck." But sometimes when it came to creatures, I like it because they look different every panel. So it makes it feel like they're always kind of changing their look, and it feels like it makes them feel less. It makes them feel more nebulous and less also, like defined.
Right.
You know,
and it also has this thing where like if you. Let's say you're the narrator, but you're also the illustrator of this story that you're painting the picture for them. You might be too scared to look at them. So you're like for too long. And so you're kind of just approximating some stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, look no further than Travel Foreman's work on Animal Man in the New 52. I mean, he used deformation and stuff to do a lot of stuff with people's moods. Characters look different and stuff. And I thought I love that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. One quick thing: the cereal, especially here in the United States, it was primarily little Chex Mix. So it was, but they contextualized it as nets, like ninja nets, and that's gonna come up here in the story.
And that's what's going on with the net.
The
cereal. We're gonna get into this more next episode because the story behind Ralston Purina is wild. But Purina Purina's the company that made blank chow, so cat chow, dog chow. They were like a big animal feed company. I was not aware of horse chow and pig chow, but these are things that were made. If you're a farmer, you're probably a little bit more whatever. But they were Ralston Purina made cereal, and it was basically Chex Mix. They made Chex Mix, which makes a lot of sense.
Chex Mix, and then just marshmallows in there.
And just marshmallows. I would not be eating. I never ate Chex Mix or their other cereal. So because that was just old people. Like what is this? Like you might as well try to get me to eat Kix. Like get out of here.
I would get Kix. We got Kix, but then I would just immediately pour sugar into the bowl.
That's what you must do. Right. Yeah, no. Oh God. That was kid chow. Like I'm not like you know what I mean in the series of
chows.
Pig chow, horse chow, cow chow, dog chow. That was kid chow. Kix was like kid chow. Chex was kid chow. It just was. Anyway.
M in the chat says that Chex Mix was originally branded as Bachelor Chow.
Yeah. 100%, dude.
Oh, it's so
we'll get into Ralston Purina. There's a crazy story in there. So anyway, so above the city, the evil Baxter Fly. I like Baxter Fly as one word. That's pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Flies in search of his prey, and he's got a net. And he's like, aha, there he is. They look down at the thing, and then as if welcoming me home. The Turtles are playing baseball, which is so good.
So good.
And here comes the super spitball from Raph. And
Casey's coming.
Yeah, it turns out Casey just waits on the spitball and cranks it the fuck out of here. He's like, bye. And I love it because
I love this.
Baxter catches it and he's like, "Fun and games are over, turtles." And Baxter flies in and catches that shit. I'm like, that's amazing. Barehanded catch, dude. Like,
oh, and then
Raph.
Look at this Donnie. That's classic. Mirage.
Yes. Yeah. Like, so he definitely took on like a little bit more of the boxy jaw and
with
stuff,
and the
like
pupilless eyes. Yeah.
And like just the dots for eyes, like when it's smaller. Yes. So absolutely. I love the 3-fingered catching the glove.
So good.
The baseball glove. 3-finger baseball glove.
That
is awesome.
That's fantastic.
So they got their own, and they're probably still paying for that from Splinter. He probably had to get that from the Superstore, and they're still making payments on that. But yep, your boy intercepts that catch, and he makes it, and then he nets up Casey, and he says, "Shredder's got plans for you, Casey Jones." And I love it. I love his face in that panel. Like,
let me go back.
It's so good. Like
so good.
Baxter's face. It looks like goofy, but also a little scary.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like the face he'd make when he's yelling.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm just like, I got really impressed by the art.
Yeah.
Also, that Casey is pure Mirage.
Yeah.
That Casey Jones right there. The Turtles Look animated series. That Casey Jones is just Casey Jones.
Oh yeah.
Like he's just from Mirage, which I think is I couldn't have said it better.
Mm-hmm.
So he nets Casey Jones and he takes him away.
Yeah.
And he says nothing can escape a ninja net.
So
apparently not. And he says, "See you in the morning funnies, turtles," which is what I'm gonna start telling everybody when I say fuck off. I'm like, "See you in the morning funnies."
Oh,
it used to be I'll see you on TV, but now I'm on the see you in the morning funnies. Like now I'm back on this. Funnies.
Oh, this reminds me. Another thing we watched was Sleepaway Camp. And in that movie,
that's a classic.
Yeah,
I love Sleepaway Camp.
And
that little
in that movie, in one of the kids yells at one of the main kids and says, "Eat shit and die," and the kid replies with "Eat shit and live." And so that's how I've been like greeting everybody or exiting.
So fucking good, dude.
Eat shit and live.
Sleepaway Camp is a great movie. God,
we actually watched. There's 3. Well, there's 4 of them now, but we watched the 2 and 3. 2 and 3, the adult version of the main antagonist in the movies. The adult version is played by Bruce Springsteen's sister.
That's weird. I did not know that. I don't think I've seen 2 or 3.
They're not great, but they're not.
The original's a pretty big classic.
The original's pretty good, but the other 2 they're something else. But anyway, seeing the morning funnies.
Seeing the morning funnies, and they're like, we gotta do something because Casey's going to Shredder, and like that ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
Leo makes a little commandment here. Hang on, Casey, we'll get you. And later, in Shredder's secret lab, I mean, it looks to me like Baxter's looking to get into something else.
He's got
plans for something else in a second.
Your morning funnies.
Yeah, no.
That's what he's trying to get into.
He wants to take a peek at your little Garfield in there. You know what I mean? Like
I hate Mondays too.
I hate Mondays too. Oh, my downstairs mix-up looks a little bit like lasagna.
I bet Baxter's totally does.
Yeah,
no one ever thinks about your downstairs mixed up when you get mutated for some reason. They don't talk. They don't address that in the books.
They don't talk about it. Then no one ever talks. Folks, why don't they talk about it? But no, it is true. Like they never do talk about that. They never do talk about it. But listen, folks. But yeah, like so he's got downstairs mix up. And then your boy Casey's like, "You're gonna be sorry, canhead."
Yep.
Which I don't understand. He's just a fly. But here's Shredder. So good to see a Mirage style TAS Shredder.
Yeah.
And there he is. "Silence, fool, you've been chosen for a great honor. The honor being the first in the line of new and improved mutants made to serve me." And Casey's like, "Oh, shit." And then he's like, I love this illustration because he's like, "Soon you'll be much stronger and much better armed." Ha ha ha. And he says much better armed because he's going to put him with an octopus.
It's so good.
What I love, the thing is, I love Casey plus octopus equals And it's just an anthropomorphic octopus with Casey's mask like strapped on the front of its huge head, where its eyes aren't even there because they're like more on the side, but it doesn't matter. You can see like there's little bits where the eyes are a little bit, but like you're like, no, you're just gonna wear that in front. And then I love that his whole idea is like, I bet you Krang was here. He's like, Shredder, Casey Jones is really scary with those sports tools. But what if he could hold 8 sports tools? And he's like, Krang, that's genius. Because that's the whole thing. Now you know what? So he has the bag strap on him.
I was about to say.
Octo Casey. He probably doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Just hold it all.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he has to put it away and use the bathroom or eat or.
I don't know. I don't know if squids or if octopuses do that. I think they just go.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
well, I mean,
literally,
you can always pee the bed when you live in the water.
Yeah, this is like so. All of our amphibious listeners, like this is nothing new to them.
Eric, that's why you should get a water bed.
That's how I'm gonna sell Shannon on it. I told, dude, thank you. Oh my goodness, we were trying to figure this out behind the scenes. We didn't tell you.
When I was a little kid, and before I'd ever seen a waterbed, because my parents didn't have one. When I heard people slept in a waterbed, I'm not joking. When I was like 3, I thought they slept in the water, in a bed. I thought they slept in a tank.
No, my parents did. They had
a waterbed.
Yeah, it was weird.
So you got the experience of like, well, I know what a waterbed is. We didn't have one, and I would hear about, because they were kind of new, I guess. So I hear like, one of my mom's teacher friends just got a waterbed, and like, and she says like the waves on it are crazy. I'm thinking like, like
they're
you sleep in like the water, but it's also a bed. You gotta remember, I'm like 2 or 3. I'm like, I don't even understand what fucking bed half is, and I'm like, and the waves. There's waves in the waterbed. Like, why are you always wet, bro? Like, aren't you gonna drown? Like, I just thought it was like a thing of water. Then, of course, I had a best friend later in elementary school who had a waterbed, and so we would like jump on that, and they're awful.
Yeah, they're not fun.
I don't understand what it was, but if you have a waterbed, Eric, if you have the waterbed that I thought was a waterbed when I was 3, then you're good.
Then I'd be good.
No one would know if you peed in the bed.
Not
one bit. If anything, it'd be a little more comfortable in there.
That's true. Warmer.
A little warmer. You know what I mean? Imagine just Shannon be like, Eric, I'm cold. Warm up the bed. You're like,
yeah, I got you.
Oh,
it's so weird. I love it.
Get nasty.
I love it.
Anyway, so he calls for the octopus, and Baxter brings it.
That's so good.
And I love it because like it's got like one tentacle wrapped around his head, and it's just cool. And so he carries it in, and then we're about to begin the experiment when, what the devil? Here come the turtles. Right through the window. Classic. Your evil plan's in now, Shredder. And they're all going to do their thing. And then you see an ad for get all 3 comic books free. Send in 1 proof of purchase. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brand cereal and 50 cents for postage and handling too. And then some address in Illinois, which is probably where Purina's freaking no, they were headquartered in St. Louis. That's strange. Unless it be this company that did the fulfillment.
It must be, yeah.
Be sure to include your name, address, and zip code on a 3x5 card, and that's basically a postage card. So a postage card, so a postcard. Only good in void where tax. I love all the little print. Allows 6 to 8 weeks for shipment. You forget it. We're kids, bro. You forget about shit. Like,
you do.
You'd be like, put that in the mail, and then you'd be like, and it was so tenuous because you were a kid. It's like, did I write something wrong? Like, did I do the address? Then you just forget. Then you get a thing in the mail, and you'd be like, and they'd be like, Ryan, you've mail, and you're like, who gave me mail? It's not my birthday. And you're like,
real quick, speaking of that, so in the He-Man universe, the Masters universe, they put out the Masters of the Universe, they put out a character that allegedly was called Wonder Bread He-Man that was a mail away, but like Wonder Bread had no recollection of this, And it's been a whole thing for like the entirety of its existence. And I think there was something new that came up with it, but it's a similar idea that you said, that like you forget about it when you send it in. And I think it's funny that Wonder Bread even forgot about it. They're like, and they're like the ones that signed off on it. And they're like, yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea who this brown haired He-Man is. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. But, that's the to be continued. The turtles break in and they fight.
Oh, I love these. These are so good.
Yeah.
So let's just blow through them, and then I guess we'll just keep talking about them as we go. So what do you think of this cover right here to issue number 2, Ryan?
So you've got Donnie, a beautiful drawn Donnie, by the way. This is like my animated series Donnie. He's got a little of that season 1 in him. That little bit looks good.
Yep.
Little of that, like you feel the feeling of that Mirage, but he's in that animated series style.
Mm-hmm.
With the most insane looking Wingnut that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Apparently, first appearance of Wingnut in a printed comic.
He looks terrifying.
He does look terrifying. His wings have like rockets on them.
Yeah.
That have like the nuclear hazard.
I was about to say.
And you're like,
yeah.
What? What?
That's extreme.
He's got just a straight up Tommy gun.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a stockless Thompson with a straight magazine to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that's just a Thompson. So that's
he's
thing.
And Donnie's
rolling in with a nuke rockets and a trench broom.
And then like Donnie comes in. Donnie comes in with a bow staff.
Yeah, he's got a bow staff. Like I'm gonna fight that. But yeah, no. His wings are seem like. I know it's probably metallic and they just didn't want to like pay the attention to it, but they look almost like white metal, which I actually really like.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like the idea that they're like plain wings, they're like painted white.
Ooh, yeah,
that's really cool. Like. Do you know what I mean? I think that's actually really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he definitely looks more like a bat. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
So in Adventures, he starts to. Don't get me wrong. He always looks like a bat. Yeah. But they anthropomorphized his face a lot more to make it seem more human-esque. Here, it's like only human. It's only anthropomorphic in the fact that like it's shaped like a head, like a human head. After that, he's got the nose, the weird ears. He's got some hair, which is obviously anthropomorphized. But like he looks more like a bat, in his head, and that is strange.
It is.
He does look terrifying.
I don't remember if he always had like a flight suit on, but that's what he's wearing, right? Like that's what that kind of looks like, or like a jumper suit.
Remember, they redid him with almost a Batman bodysuit on. It was
that's
never.
How I remember.
It wasn't like, it wasn't like Batman, but it was like a black comic book with the accessory belt kind of Batman feel. But yeah, here he's got a flight suit like he's a pilot,
right?
Which is yeah.
It works. He's flying.
Like, yeah. But I think later on they decided to make him ape Batman a little more in their kind of redesign. But yeah, that's the cover. That's it. And Donnie looks great, of course.
Oh, Donnie looks fantastic. So, all right, let's zoom in here a little bit to get the feeling right. So, we got Shredder, and the Shredder has kidnapped Casey Jones, but now the Turtles have arrived to rescue their friend, for those just tuning in. Classic standoff with Shredder. They want Casey Jones back, but Shredder's like, never, you wretched reptiles. I have an ally who can deal with you. And then, boom, lasers start flying. Suddenly, they're being strafed, which I don't know if I would have said that word correctly as a child. I would have said straffed, maybe? Does it matter?
Yeah. That is a classic word you read when you read too many comics and books as a kid that you'd never say out loud. And then the first time you're like, we're being straffed. And everyone's like, you're like, no.
Yeah. Your boy comes up and says, attack from above, Turtles. And
Drake Thompson shooting.
Oh, yeah. And apparently you can read these on Read Comic Online. Like I guess that's where I got.
That's a free ad, boys.
Just Read Comic Online.
Read Comic Online.
So the Turtles comment on how freaky looking he looks like, and they just are looking fantastic. Even just crudely drawn, I still love these. Donnie says he's gonna tag that Batman creep. And he makes a reference to saying, where have I heard that name before? And I think he's saying, where have I heard Batman? And that's where that comes in.
That's what it is.
So
actually, a ultra early I mean, it's not real, but you could almost think it's canonically early drop of the eventual Batman TMNT crossover, like in our time.
Oh, okay.
Kind of funny. It's kind of like an interesting prelude. Like, where have I heard that name? Almost like he's heard it before, but I guess they're in the same universe. So
right
in IDW, which is interesting.
So and then even more interesting, Donnie nails that one of his right booster or whatever, which again, we need to constantly remind everyone that Donnie is an expert marksman. He'll
put that bow on. He'll put that bow into your actual nostril hole and kill you. He's shown the ability to run that plan.
That's something that thing I feel people don't talk about that as much. But this is excellent. A moving target, nailed it. He wanted to hit that booster. That's exactly what he planned.
Yep.
So it was his starboard engine, to be specific.
Which is correct. It is the starboard side of his.
So so and then as he's crashing, he goes, "I'm gonna crash," which I've never crashed anything before, but I like to imagine that that's just what you say. Like, it's almost as if like when you're enjoying relations and you're announcing your arrival, you know.
Arrivals and departures over here.
Right, exactly. No,
absolutely. Like, I'm gonna crash. It's like a sneeze, but different.
Right. You're gonna make me number 3.
You're gonna make me number 3. Yeah, I feel like I hope I hope that's what Dave Matthews does.
Crash into me. That's what it was about.
He's like, who put the That's what he always sounds like. And he's and I crash. And then he just falls asleep.
Just falls asleep. So the Turtles are excited because they got him, but then your boy Baxter just off the sideline, just coming in, getting wingnut, and they're gonna split while they have the chance. And so Leo's like, that fly is starting to bug me.
Got him.
Your boy Casey gets gets cut free by Raphael using his sai, which are not supposed to be sharp, but I imagine with enough force, you could probably make that happen. And then Shredder blasted Turtles. Have the upper hand, and my allies have fled. Time to activate my backup defense. And you're like, what? And so then all of a sudden, look, something's crashing through the wall. And great googly moogly. And that's a classic Mirage right there. That's so good.
Line.
It's so good. And the look too. The line and the look. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And then
boom, it's right there.
A giant mouser that Shredder is manning. And that's it for this issue.
Yep.
So now on to
get your postcard, kids.
Get your postcard, kids. So now number 3. So this is really cool. Again, the Turtles masthead from the animated series. You got the number 3 in white, and then you got your boy Casey Jones, double fist and a bat, and then you got Raphael up there with both sides, and then you got this weird looking dude on the side who we will later become known to us as Man Ray. And that's just wild. They got an orange and yellow background looking like a sunset. And
I got 2 things to say. One, the way that Casey's gripping that bat is left-handed. So that's interesting. The other thing I have to say is, and follow me on this, because this is going to be strange, man.
Okay.
Does Raph look a little bit like Ralph Macchio to you?
I can see it.
Face?
Yeah.
I know it's Raph. So it's like you ask yourself, Ryan, why do you think he looks like Ralph Macchio? Something about the eye slant and the distance and his grin and the nose. Like, Ralph Macchio doesn't look like a turtle. But it's almost like but hear me out. It's almost like if you drew Raph's face over a picture of Ralph Macchio and made all the features line up.
Right.
Maybe I'm just sleep deprived. I don't know.
I could totally see that. I'm with you. It doesn't sound that far fetched.
And Man Ray looks like me before I stopped drinking sugar. So
he does. I was just gonna say that actually. Oh my Lord!
You're gonna fuck around, turn me back to the old me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I used to look like.
Yeah. That's It's a very weird look for Man Ray. So
it's a weird one. So this is our ultimate issue here. We're going to resolve the whole thing in one flip book that looks like a baseball card. So
yes,
we left ourselves at the end. Like I do like it so basically over all the other comics you just read of. You're like, Ryan, what are you doing?
Right.
Everyone's like, oh my God, because this guy just crashed through the wall of the Technodrome. And I'm like, that's interesting. It's like, okay, we broke through there and they're like, oh, we got to stop. How are we going to stop the giant robot? Oh my God, look who's at the controls. And once again, to get you remembering, it is Shredder. My mouse or robot will make turtle soup of you.
Oh,
so obviously they're shouting us out. So I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
So you see how big the scale is based on one of these feet that drop. Everybody has to run because it's dropping down. Next panel, love the panel. I want that on a shirt.
Love it. Classic.
It is such a cool. This is a classic Mirage viewpoint change. Right. That you miss it because we haven't read Mirage in so long that when you see it happen, you're like, shit. Somebody had a badass idea. This is what I love about indie comics and especially about Mirage. You know that the process was as they were doing these layouts that it was such an open environment and such an environment of like independent like freedom and expression and creativity that somebody, maybe it was just Laird himself, just goes, I want to do a shot from inside the Mouser's mouth of Donnie like getting squared down.
Right.
Like getting squared down on. And I want to be inside the mouth because if you know Mousers, you know that they can fit like a bunch of mice inside their mouth. Well, now it's huge. So it's like the back of a dump truck opening up. And love this panel, quintessential Mirage style.
Excellent.
Layout and such a cool, like, just, that's a cool shot that Mirage would do sometimes. Totally. And that's exactly what it is. It breaks the action narrative, but it's one of the best panels ever in the comic. So they're trying to hit the Mauser, but they can't even dent it because it must be some kind of ultra hard metal alloy. You know what I'm saying? Because
of course,
Leo can't cut the metal with his sword. I feel like Leo is only ever like in his previous life that like foot soldiers are made of like aluminum or like made of like copper tin or something. Right. And like everyone's weapons happen to be made of like copper tin. He's never encountered stainless steel before.
Yeah, no.
So he goes try to cut it with his steel blade and dents it and goes like, shit, this must be alien shit. Right. And it's like, that's just a hard steel. That's just not pot metal, basically. All I gotta say is like he cuts metal so much, his sword sharpening game's gotta be on point.
Has to be.
All I'm
has
saying.
to be. I mean, what else is he doing?
Maybe it's that Damascus steel.
Oh.
You know? Anyway, so Casey, I love this. Casey tries to hit the Mouser with his 9-iron and has the classic vibrations that go up the handle and jiggle him, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And Mikey's, don't give up, Casey. There's a way to stop this thing. Well, guys, I'm just gonna. There is no way to stop it.
There is nope.
Not for them. Not for the 5 of them. But pre-diabetes Ryan is here to save the day. Man Ray comes flying down and he goes, I've tracked him down. And he's outside this factory on the dock. And here comes your boy like, bro. Now Man Ray will settle the score. First appearance of Man Ray, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Learn something new every day on the Turtle Soup podcast. So in the factory, Shredder staring him down all over for y'all. What? And then here comes Man Ray. Lands on top. Now, Man Ray, I love this about Man Ray because he actually brings this to the Adventures comics too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Your boy existed for a very, very long time, basically being the ultimate, like the sheriff of patties. He's basically the sheriff of patties of the ocean. Like he is king shit. Like he runs the ocean law. He's like, I'm the cop for the ocean. Oh, Octopus, are you drunk? You better go home. You can't do that. You can't jaywalk across that reef because I'm ocean cop.
Right.
And when he shows up to the dry world, he walks like a man who's used to being like the judge, jury, and executioner. Like he's Judge Dredd from the ocean, which I actually kind of love.
I'm loving that you're bringing this up because he's got the same kind of bravado that Namor does. That's exactly what Namor does. He's royalty. He shows up on land and he's like, "Hey, where's your the hottest woman is the one that I can't see. I'm gonna grab her." And basically,
make
her mine.
I mean, he's even got Namor's like colors on. In this iteration.
Oh, definitely.
Like, it's very Namor.
Oh yeah. And so, but I wonder if like under the sea, like there was a whole thing with like, hey, don't walk at night because you might get grabbed by trash, like a tin can might get you or something. You might get caught in that. And this octopus is like, I don't care about that. I don't need that. And then all of a sudden the octopus is just walking, and then Shredder grabs him because he looks like a tin can. And the octopus is like, oh my goodness. And there's wanted signs everywhere, or like, on the bottom of milk cartons or milk bags for Canadian waters.
Yeah.
And and so they find that, because this has to be what he's upset about, because what else has Shredder done in these comics to make him, because he's the protector of all ocean life. So I think that's the reason.
He nabbed an octopus from the water and was like, you're going to be also matched with Casey Jones.
And it says it right here. Yeah, and you're in serious trouble for octopus abuse.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
that it actually tells you that.
Yeah, well, because so in my head canon, the thing about Shredder and like Baxter, if like they went down to if Shredder went to consulted Baxter on the right animal to pick to have Casey Jones have to hold all of his weapons at once. And Baxter's like, well, that would be an octopus, of course.
That's so good.
And so they go down to the ocean. Bro, when they're in that submersible or whatever, they're just outwardly saying their whole plan out loud. And Man Ray probably heard it.
Oh, probably.
Man Ray probably chilling with a bunch of octopi, like, well, you boys stay good. No more late nights out here. You got to get home for work, boys. Let's go ahead and turn it around.
Right.
Like doing this Sheriff of Patty shit. And then, like, they roll up and Shredder's like, once I steal this turtle, once I steal this octopus, I'll mend it with a human man named Casey Jones, and it'll destroy the octopus. But then, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably just out, and Baxter's like, oh, great idea, Shredder. Oh, wow. And they're like, going on, and Man Ray's like, who the fuck is that? Then they see this, like, the submersible, like, yoink, and grab this dude, and he's like, what the hell? And he's like, well, now that we've got him, we'll kill him. And he's like, what? So, yeah, he probably just, like, they probably laid the whole plan out. And he's probably like, all right, well, boys, I gotta he probably spent the time. That's probably why Shredder got a head start on him. He probably spent the time putting some clothes on.
Oh, that's probably what it was.
Because he has to go back and get his uniform, because he's Man Ray, he's underwater. It's like everybody's naked. So he's like, oh, I gotta go up on the shore side. So I gotta like put on my goddamn clothes.
Right. I don't want to be
grab the Namor outfit. I like that outfit. So put that on.
Give me the boots.
So he jumps out, lands on the hood of the Mouser, and he's like, you're under arrest for serious octopus abuse. And I love it because he names himself. I'm Man Ray.
Yeah.
And then immediately Raph's like, Casey, I got an idea. Toss Man Ray that can of paint. Now there's a can of red paint sitting in the Technodrome.
Why?
I mean, it's likely as anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would help me if something was painted red. But nothing's painted red in there.
I don't know if this is the Technodrome. I think this is
it's not.
Building, actually.
Okay.
So they probably used it to paint this building
go
red.
back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's go back to the panel where he breaks through the wall.
So the
entire inside of this factory is the Technodrome.
You're not wrong.
The floor, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
Look at that.
I see it. That definitely.
That's no oceanside dockyard house or building, dude.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
the Technodrome. Now, either way, so he flies into the. I guess they're in the dock building that looks like the Technodrome. But it's all good because they throw him a can of red paint that's around, and Man Ray's like, "Thanks, Casey. This is just a ticket."
How does he know Casey's name?
No, because Raph said it.
Raph
said, Casey, I've got an idea.
You're right.
So they're getting the names damn fast. These guys are great with names. You know what I'm saying? Unlike me. You know what I mean? They got it. He says, here's mud in your eye, Shredder, and he puts the red paint all over the front. And of course, in this huge machine, can only be controlled by line of sight, by visuals. There's no radar. There's no like turtle detector. It can't go fly by wire or anything like that. It's you use the viewport or you don't. So doing this, it says blinded by the paint, Shredder steers the Mouser robot through the wall of the secret warehouse hideout. Oh, so that's his secret warehouse. So that makes some sense. So like, he took the building and then him and Krang or somebody retrofitted that bitch to be Technodrome style. That makes sense. Okay. I'll be honest. I think that like Google Drive freaked the fuck out when I originally read this, and I just didn't get this page.
Oh, okay, that could make sense.
Because this is all new to me.
Yeah.
So he runs out onto the dock and falls in the water. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then, they're saying, I hope that's the last time we see a Shredder for a while. And Man Ray's like, I could eat a bunch of food. That was me, basically. I'm like, 2 large fries, please. And then we get the last line from, I believe that this is Mikey. Hard to tell.
It might be Raph.
Well, because of what he says, I think it's Mikey's. All right, pizza time.
Right.
That feels like a Mikey thing to say.
It does feel like a Mikey thing, but the turtle in the foreground has a brighter bandana that looks more orange, but the one in the background is where the arrow is pointing a little bit. So it's hard to say because that one looks dark.
You know what? I'm done. I'm done with the show. I'm done with the turtles because they can't get the colors right. I've had it enough. There's a lot. I mean, I said you do this about 521 more times, I'm out.
Right.
And this is 521. I'm out.
All right. Well, hold on. Let's at least finish the episode.
Okay.
Let's at least get through that.
I guess.
Whatever. What if I told you, Ryan, that we're not done with this yet? What if I told you that I've got a special treat that I'm not sure if you even knew about? I don't know. I gotta do some finagling over here. But what if I told you that? It might be able to convince you to stay. So
it'd be a hard sell.
So that's the actual end of the comics, but thankfully, bleedingcool.com had a little snippet that was 3 of the actual. Are you ready for this? The actual panel, like the pencils, like in all the outlines. Yeah, and so this is really wild. But you can zoom in and you can see the layout for all these issues.
Oh yeah, so this was the planned layout. This was like a layout drawing.
Oh yeah. This is not like the actual unfinished, uncolored stuff.
Oh, that's really cool.
But this is still really freaking cool.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they've got them for all 3. This is like, I love this stuff, like this right here.
Yeah.
We'll rescue Casey. And even Laird's rushed, like just
sketches.
Just sketches look fun. Like
they do look cool.
Really enjoy them. And then there's the second issue that has some stuff on it. And yeah, this is just neat.
Oh, that is really cool.
This exists. It's just so cool. And again, that's on Bleeding Cool. You can just Google Bleeding Cool and then type in the cereal. TMNT Cereal stuff, and then it should pull up. But yeah,
that's so good.
And then there's up there at the top. There's the Donnie and the mouth of the mouser kind of look.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is just.
I love seeing behind the scenes on that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and it's so weird how some stuff looks like this, like. There's something about the Casey right here, him throwing the thing, that looks, and then the turtle smiling. Like, I don't know. There's elements of it that look like really well done, and obviously certain parts don't. But like, it's a weird juxtaposition of seeing that dynamic between the two transitions. I don't know. Something about it's just really neat. And
well, like for example, like it looks like, and maybe I'm mistaken, but if you look at Casey's arm. It looks a lot more segmented, almost like it was one of those like mannequins, those like small little mannequins you can pose to like
to draw
and stuff. So it looks like he was like he was trying to get perspective on that throw, and could have like sketched that to get that right look for the anatomy.
Oh yeah, and
I love that if you look at the next panel over, you can tell they definitely planned. Yeah, they definitely planned Man Ray to be a heavier guy.
Yeah,
you can see it there. Like
his,
absolutely, neck and everything. Like,
right.
Interesting.
So yeah, this is
that's cool.
Stuff.
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay on the podcast.
Okay, I figured this might sway you back.
Yeah, this pulled me back.
So
I'll reset the clock. 521 more, and then I'm out, for real. I'm not joking. I'm
right.
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done with the show at that point.
Well, so yeah, I loved these. I thought these were great. They're
absolutely
super quick, and
they were fun.
I'm a big fan of the funny the funny papers because Ryan,
catch
or
you in
not
the
Ryan,
morning funnies.
Berger does the ones that we did, like they were just like so many of them.
Yeah,
And
Dan Berger did
Berger, that's his name.
did the actual printed comic strip from the paper, like
Right.
the actual comic.
And I loved those so much, and I think you did
Oh
too.
yeah,
And
Dan did a
fascinated.
great job on this.
And these are like they're up there. I enjoyed this. This was fun. Like it was so quick that I couldn't get bogged down with anything. I could just enjoy it for its simplicity and but what was there was entertaining and just kind of delightful. And so yeah, I really loved these.
It's funny to me. I think my rap on it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny to me that there was an era where Mirage did everything in house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Dan Berger's working on who's part of the Mirage family, is working on the comic strip.
Yeah,
the King Syndicate or Creator Syndicate comic strip for all that time, and then they've got Laird and Ryan and Steve jump on this for this project really fast for the serial. And it's so interesting that in the Mirage comics during this time, you're in the guest era.
Yeah.
So you're seeing everybody but the Mirage crew on these comics. And but they're still doing this little license stuff on the side. It's just interesting. Like,
it is.
But this does take me back. 1989 was a classic era where Mirage was still small.
Yeah.
Like, they were still small. The animated series has been out a couple years, but they were still in-house making all the stuff.
Right.
And seeing this little taste of the old Mirage personnel was a really cool thing for me.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, you could just see it in it. And I don't know, it sounds like it evoked the same thing in you that it did in me, that just my love for this and and you could see their love in it. And I just appreciate that it feels like there was some effort put into this. And it wasn't just, well, we might talk more about this next episode, but I saw someone when I was doing my quick Google research that somebody had done a comparison of the old Turtles serial that we'll talk about next episode, and then the newest one that came out for Mutant Mayhem. And they were like, what I love about it is that the old one is that that's original artwork. That's stuff that is for that. The new stuff is all like copy and pasted from the
assets.
Yeah.
Exactly. Digital assets from the actual like movie.
Right. And a lot of it's copied and pasted. So the same thing that's on the cereal box is on the Macaroni box as well, and so on. And not to say that this era of Turtles didn't do that as well, but it was like different. And obviously digital art was not as easily manipulated and copied and pasted back then. So it didn't happen as frequently. But that's what I love about this, is that there's effort and there's heart into this. There's something, they took the time to do it, as evident by the pencils. But yeah, there's just something about that's just very like coming home a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Well, like it took us until 95 or 96 to start seeing Mirage Comics using digital art in any kind of way. And even then it was to assist color, digital color, digital gradients and stuff in the background of different shots. It took them forever to get that going, because I'm sure it's hard to work that into your creative process when you've been used to making things in an analog way for so long.
Oh yeah.
Back then it was a matter of like, who's going to draw this for the cereal box,
right?
Who's going to draw the little comic? Who's going to, and like, it had to be done by hand. And one thing I really respect about Mirage early on, really throughout the entire 90s, a lot of times, is they were like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do it. Like and like, I'm sure in the Surge licensing deal and stuff like that, they were like, it's us.
Yeah.
Like, you don't draw the turtles.
Right.
Don't hire your dude who also draws funny dogs for the front of your cereal to draw our product. Like, we're going to take our art and put it on your shit.
Yeah.
Because we have control over it. And it's just so, once again, it kind of echoes the story of Peter and Kevin and Mirage in general, that they were so small and so indie, and that even when they got the beginning of the Toxic fame. We're talking about like 89 was a huge year for them. I mean, they're still doing in-house the stupid 3 little comic for the cereal box.
Right.
They're doing it, and they're making it look good and be cool. I just love that about Mirage. It's just been
absolutely.
And like you said, it's really kind of a really refreshing taste to be back in it for a second in that era. I'd be like, God damn, they were doing everything.
Oh yeah.
Really cool.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, did we miss anything with this? We want to know.
Yeah.
Email us
at
turtlesoupshow at gmail.com and let us know if we missed anything, if you have anything more like this. If you live in a country that had the cereal as well, and they had comics too, like this, we want to know. So hit us up.
Turtles. Exactly. Our UK friends. You remember Hero Turtle cereal? Like, what's
right.
That?
Yeah. Tell us about that. Like, because I guess nets were okay back then. You could have nets. You couldn't have nunchucks, but
yeah. I'm sure.
Well, I guess you couldn't call them ninja nets because the ninja thing was the problem. But yeah,
let
us know. Yeah, they were what? Hero nets?
They had to be hero nets.
Hero nets, of course. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, hit us up, turtlesoupshow at gmail.com. You can also find us on the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com, which I believe now is a Podbean website, and I think all that's squared away now, so that's good. And we're up there. So also rate, review, subscribe, do any RATE, and do anything
always.
Whatever you're listening, if you could do that, really appreciate that. And then find us on all the socials because we post occasionally and some funny stuff, and let you know whenever we're doing the show and whenever we just can't, or whatever the case may be. And then also, if you want to support the show here on YouTube, we live stream at least once or twice a month on Thursday nights usually. And so I know, right? I know. And so yeah, if you can hang out, that we appreciate it. If you can't, that's cool too. But if you can just come and subscribe, or just subscribe or whatever, that does wonders for us. And then if you want to go the extra mile, like so many of you fellow Turtletarians have done, you can go to patreon.com, find Turtle Soup's Done by Making a Podcast. You can throw some pennies our way, get some cool swag, which I got to start making for the last quarter. And that really helps a lot, keeps us from saying clang, and keeps the lights on. So yeah, please do all of that. And if you already have, thank you again. And next episode, we will be talking about the actual box of the cereal, the actual cereal. And then the back of the box is what I'm most concerned about, because there's a lot of weird stuff there. So hopefully I got it all. I did an extensive deep dive on it for hours, and I think I acquired most of it, but I might have missed one. So just be sure to tune in and double check me. And then
if you want to help clarify for us at all,
exactly.
We gotta put the clarifier signal.
Exactly. We might need Jake on this. But that's gonna be next episode. So until then, else time. And we're back.
Group mutation.
And for some reason,
John brought up the group mutation. Raph Machio. That's pretty good.
The
chat window's not catching up with chat.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with
Everything
that.
was screwy getting this thing off the ground, guys.
It was.
If this was a rocket launch, we would have scrubbed. I mean, like there were so many problems. Like you know, it was almost unethical to launch. But we did.
But we did
when they launched Challenger, and look what happened.
Look what happened. We'll just go back to the two cams.
Two cam Sam.
Yeah. So
chat was great, by the way. You guys were like ridiculous on chat.
Yes, thank you. Congrats, you're Boeing.
Oh no shit.
That's what it felt like.
I watched the John Oliver like the last week tonight on Boeing, and it was I mean, I followed a lot of it, so I knew, but here John Oliver has a special way of like putting everything that every fucked up part of something in an order that just makes it seem so much worse.
Oh yeah.
Like it just he does a great job with that.
They definitely do. But yeah.
Have you just stopped using any pronouns but they them so you don't offend somebody?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, because I've noticed you're calling everybody they, like even people we know their pronouns, and I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, it's kind of like so I did I'm doing music reviews on my Easy Opens channel, and I don't really want to say like female fronted anymore. Like I don't want to necessarily, unless they like specifically like lean into that. And but if I haven't seen anything, then I don't necessarily want to do that, because there's a part of me that does, because I love that, because that triggers me and that makes me want to listen to. I'm like, oh, I love female fronted bands. I also love male fronted bands, so I'm either gonna start saying male fronted bands for bands that just have male singers, and then, you know what I'm saying? So and then I started just saying they, and then it's just, you know, I at least make an attempt. But I mean, I don't know. It could just
what you have to watch out for, though, is that I know this is such a like touchy thing, and like you just don't want to offend anybody, right? But
of course,
technically, they is misgendering people too.
Yeah,
I discovered that.
Yeah, but because, I think that it's still one of those things where
one of Alicia's friends deals with this with their publisher.
Oh,
so he's a trans man, and has been they'd by his publisher on like actual like social media posts,
right?
And he's had to be like, it's he him,
yeah,
and they're like they, and he's like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
because to somebody who's made that transition, they them is as bad as she her,
right?
When and especially because it has a ring of like they just consider anyone who's trans to be they them, because they don't know, and they don't even really have the effort. But it's like and once again, what you're doing, it's understood, because it's like, well, you're just trying to be thoughtful, but it's a little bit like, this is my publisher.
Yeah, if I've been told, then that's
they should know me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, if your boss at work, if you transitioned and your boss kept calling you they, you'd be like, I work for you. You know it's he, him. Like what do you, like, it's obvious, like what it is, but you're almost like, oh, you're trans they. And it's like, well, no. You know.
No.
It's a touchy subject. So one thing I stopped doing was I stopped using the phrase actress.
Oh yeah. I've tried to,
and we talked about that, I think, a while back, maybe even on the show. I don't know what it is. Something kind of came out. I read a feminist thing about actress, and I was like, no, I feel that. Like, actor, everyone's an actor. Why are we separating that? And
I did the same thing with
really dropped actress from my word.
I did the same thing. I stopped calling lady doctors doctor with an A instead of an E.
Got it.
Definitely stopped doing that. Yeah. So I know what you mean. Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah.
But
I stopped calling women doctors Dr. Quinn, and then laughing afterwards.
I can't. I'm not there yet.
That doesn't really like that. That's a little, you know.
Oh, it's totally offensive. But but it's totally offensive. But I can't stop. I mean, I did two today.
Imagine like you just like you're so fucking shitty that like you see a woman doctor walk in, like any like, woman dentist, whatever, and you're like, "Hey, Dr. Quinn," like what the fuck?
Like, that's so funny, terrible. Dude. Why would you do that?
That's the hill you die on. Is like,
absolutely.
Is like, I'll never get used to these women doctors.
Right?
You're a novelty. You should be Dr. Quinn. You know, it's like what the fuck, dude? Like
you're like, I'm all about rights for everybody and do your thing and equality and all that, but.
Well, I've been, me. I mean, like I picked out a long time ago in this ever evolving, changing world. I picked out a long time ago that I'm just racist against ancient Egyptians.
Ancient Egyptians. I remember that.
I figured out I can be racist against one group of people who no longer exist, and then it's okay. And then I clarified nothing to do with modern Egyptians, like nothing to do with Egyptians alive
today,
or hell, alive even after the time of the pharaohs. I mean, like I'll go all the way back, like 1650 Egypt. I'm down with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm against BC Egyptians. Absolute racist. Can't stand them.
No, you can't stand them. Yeah,
that's it.
Don't
so you got to give that.
Patronize them. Won't do nothing.
You have to give that inherent white racism a vent.
Right, it has to,
and then you can just not be racist against anyone else. You see,
right, exactly. No, it makes perfect sense.
That's at least what my the therapist in the alley told me to do.
You know, I mean, that's why
the
they
therapist
get paid the
at the massage parlor told me.
Oh my goodness. Well, did they tell you what we're gonna name this episode? Because we got to name this episode.
Fucking no.
Cereal mini comics.
Em's just singing in the chat, and I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I love it. There's Octa Casey, but that's
no. We got it's Raph Macchio. We got Raph Macchio from John Clemens.
Oh, that's true. We could do that, or we could just do the the funny. The morning funnies? Is that what it said?
In the morning funnies. We are kind of covering. They are a little bit like morning funnies, a little bit. So
exactly,
it kind of fits.
Yeah, and you eat cereal in the morning usually. So, oh my god, that's excellent.
That's pretty good.
That's so good. I do love that, but I don't know.
I feel like the court of public opinion could make like a RICO case on you.
Yeah,
where like how like with RICO, it's like all you have to do is like find one crime a long time ago, and then find a crime now, and then say basically you were responsible for all this other shit that happened in between because you were like doing the same thing in between that, right? We can connect those things. I feel like we ought to do like a whole like Eric just pisses the bed all the time as a RICO charge because you pissed it when you destroyed the turtle com when you were a kid.
That's true.
And then you pissed it recently.
So it stands to reason.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, because of RICO, basically like he did it all the time. He's always pissed the bed. He's just a. Oh, there was one that if I ever peed the bed, Easy did it. Fair, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like if you ever do like, well, I mean,
sounds like something
Easy was connected to bedwetting
or
over these last like 30 something years. Like he's wed the bed 30 something years ago. Wed the bed the other day. I mean, what do you think? You know what I mean?
What's the difference? Tomato.
Oh, did you catch M? This is way earlier in the chat, but we were in the middle of something I wanted to say. M said, representing for all the gangsters all across the world, still peeing in them corners, girls.
Yeah, he was trying. Thank you for he picked up my slack. That's why we keep him around.
Pee in the sheets. The next time easy peeing.
Oh, cereal bedwetter.
All right, so really fast before we name the episode, who would be your Carol Baskins? Like,
oh geez,
who's like your that goddamn Carol Baskins? Like if you did your Tiger King, but you were peeing in the bed all the time, who would be like? Is that goddamn? Like who'd be your like?
I feel like I used to have somebody, but now I don't. Like now I don't know.
What about Malibu?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, yeah, David. Yes, he is. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Correct.
It's a goddamn David Malibu. That's
exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I would say. Just, oh God.
Mine would be John Clemens.
That's obviously fair. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. No, without a doubt.
Like, I'd be like laying next to you, both of us covered in each other's piss, and I would say, "It's a goddamn John Clemens." That's what I would say.
Exactly.
Like it just doesn't. You're like, what's he got to do with it? He's like in Canada, and you're like, "It's a goddamn John Clemens. He's after me."
So
John Clemens
just
is after me though, Loki.
he is. Speaking of John, because John is in America's Hat. I want to bring this up right now, and it's a little bit of a precursor to next week, just so I don't forget it. So and John's here, so that way we can attest to this. So there is a I believe it's French Canadian version of the Turtle cereal, which we will cover again. But let me see. Let me go to it real quick. Here we go. John, can you confirm that is this a bag of milk? Because y'all have milk in a bag, right? Like, isn't that what y'all do? Is that a bag?
That looks like a pitcher.
Does it? It kind of does, but it. Okay, I guess.
Clemens, does your bag of milk look like that?
Yeah. Like, is it designed to look like a pitcher? Because obviously Donnie's holding the bowl. But like, and then also Donnie's holding the spoon, which is fantastic. It's just this giant ass spoon. But
I was fucking dinner is coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
thinking about that.
My family crest.
We had pictures that held the bags. No, you didn't.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There are pictures for the. Don't say that because I don't know if you're joking half or not. Because you could have had a picture that held the bag.
Because it looks like it's both. I love it. Okay, cool.
One corner of the bag and drop the bag into a bag holder thingy. John, is that true?
Oh,
John's taking the piss, dude. John,
he's wetting the bag.
I need you to stop shooting. Clemens is correct. M2. He's being serious.
Okay. Is he being super serial?
Makes things so complicated. That makes milk so much more goddamn complicated. What is wrong with you guys?
Oh, that's so good.
I mean, I love the honesty. I love it all. And it's so bizarre.
I love it.
But how in the shit can you sell? See, we wouldn't do that in America. We wouldn't.
No.
We'd be like, bag of milk, and you put it in a pitcher, and then you like clip it, and then you pour it, but it's in the bag. We'd be like, the fuck? Never forget, we're the assholes that made drinking beer out of a can okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you weren't supposed to do that.
We have atrocities.
It was in a can to like be transported, and then you're supposed to pour it into a glass like a gentleman. And fucking Americans were like, what about if I drank it from the teat?
Right.
Like, that's what we basically did. And you guys got bagged milk. Oh, yeah. How rich would it be if you had $1 for every cartoon that didn't open right and it's all fucked up?
Yeah.
If $1 for every carton.
The carton. Yeah.
Oh, the carton. Oh, yeah. No, those. Yeah. No.
That's true.
No, cartons weren't great.
One more quick question about the bag. Do y'all put missing children on the milk bag?
Oh, do you guys have a lower success rate because they're all deformed by the bag? like
they're in the bag.
They're in the bag. They're in the bag, John.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That'd be so fucking creepy. It's like a white bag, right?
Yeah.
And then like you drink the milk, you pour the milk, and as you pour the milk, you see like, all right, it's a mullet.
Yeah.
And they got brown eyes, and oh, look at that nose. And like you eventually realize it's a missing kid in the bag.
Yep.
So holy
shit. Oh my goodness.
John, that's too much.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
No, but like I imagine you're like, hey, I saw that kid, and it looks nothing like that kid because the milk bag was like, no, sir, flatten the bag out on the table, and you're like, oh, that's not him.
Yeah, like you're accusing somebody in their family that they've stolen the kid because he looks like it's all deformed. Yeah,
it's all deformed. You're like trying to read out the goddamn bag, and you're trying to figure it out. You can't because it's all a bag.
My gosh.
Oh my god, dude!
Like, thank you for
the milk. Thanks, guys, for thanks for sharing that. I know that you just threw it directly into a fucking wood chipper. Like you're like, yeah, this is how we grew up, and we're like, but thank you for sharing, for showing us your milk carton belly and trusting us because that is so weird. We had bagged juice in school. You remember that?
No, not really.
They still have bagged juice. Like I remember every once in a while, like it's like all of a sudden, like the county was like, "We bought juice from these people now." And
Right.
it'd be like a bag of orange juice. You'd be like, the fuck? Like, and you'd be like, and the thing is, they kept it in the fridge, but like, you get it at school and it was like kind of frozen. So you thought, I remember having this thought when I was in like 4th grade. I remember going, now, if these bitches just came out of the fridge, out of the freezer, it'd be like an orange, like pop, like
Slushy
an orange
kind of thing.
popsicle. I eat the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, funny enough, right in the old milk sack. God. The funny thing is that years and years later during the pandemic, right? I got to actually realize this desire. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Get this. So at the time, and I don't know, I got a unique perspective on the pandemic because I had 2 young kids in elementary school and my mom was an elementary school principal at the time. So I just got a lot of the behind the scenes, like, what are we going to do? And one big thing is that, like, they have kids that rely on that food.
Oh, yeah.
My man. Like, in elementary, free, first of all breakfast in Hillsborough County, I don't know how it is in other counties or states, all breakfast is free. Dead ass. And that is like literally subsidized by our tax dollars. Like, kids get at least 1 meal for actual free, and it's breakfast 5 days a week. Now, my mom was the principal of a very low income school, and she said that, like, that's how the kids eat, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't eat lunch, but they get that breakfast.
Right.
So, like, she and the county was really concerned about, like, the actual food problem of kids going hungry. So they made a system where you could drive by at lunchtime and pick up the breakfast and lunch from that day in a bag. And all you had to do was just give your name and say, I have this many kids, and they would give you the food.
Oh, okay.
And it was super cool because, like, kids got food,
pandemic.
right?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It was during the pandemic because the kids couldn't go to school, but they, you could go pick up the food. Now, some pieces of shit started going to multiple schools to get the food.
Oh, that's
so they had
obnoxious.
to, like, tighten the which I'm like, come on, you're literally stealing, like, food from children's like mouths, man. Like, and I get it, because maybe, like, you're very underprivileged, you've got kids that need to eat, and, like, maybe you're worried about the food scarcity is a big issue.
Yeah.
It's why, like, foster kids, like, they have to put the locks on the fridges in foster homes, because kids will steal the food to forage it, like, because they'll hide it because they don't know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so we picked up some of this stuff, and I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh yeah, man. Like, now after a little while, I started, like, my kids ate it, but then I started, like, our money got a little better, and I was kind of like,
okay,
I'm not going to do it anymore, because they were starting to run out on some days, and I'm like,
right. So
my kids don't
not.
need this shit.
Right.
Like, we have money for food. So, like, I stopped doing it, but for a little while we did. And they had apple juice and orange juice in the plastic bag.
In the plastic bag.
The kids,
okay.
I said, are you gonna eat this? Are you gonna drink this? They go, no. I'm like, put that bitch in the freezer.
Right.
And I got to live that life.
Ooh.
That many years later, I grabbed a bag of orange juice that was completely frozen, cut the top off, pushed it up like a push pop, ate it. Fucking delicious.
That's amazing.
I gotta live that life, man. That many years later, it was so damn sasatisfying. I'm in the kitchen cackling, like, eating this thing. I'm cackling. That's and so Alicia, kids are like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, eating this thing. This is great. They're like, okay.
Well, all right. Well, we'll have to table some of these conversations for next week.
Yeah, we will.
We'll save it for the breakfast table
talk.
Yeah. But yeah, so
see you in the morning funnies.
See you in the morning funnies. That's probably all I got. Cereal bedwetter is really good, but I don't know.
That's a really good one too.
It's really good. But I think we might just go with the see you in the funnies. See you in the morning funnies.
Clemens, quick, throw the milk sack in the freezer. I cannot vouch for frozen milk.
Right, that's gonna be.
I cannot.
Yeah,
that different. Sounds bad to me, but I'm not a big milk. Would it be like ice cream? No, because they had salt and they, like, do other stuff to ice cream, right? I mean, it wouldn't be like frozen milk. Wouldn't be ice cream.
No, they have other rock salt.
Yeah, they do other rock salt, and they churn, right, and all that.
Yeah, they have, like, specific machines for that. Yeah.
I bet if it was whole milk, it would be like, all right. But if it's skim, you got that water's gonna separate. You're eating ice, dude.
Yeah, that's gross.
No, eating water ice. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
See you in the morning funnies.
All right. You got it?
I'm gonna run the number because I feel like I've done a lot of the titles lately, so I feel like we need to put it back on you a little bit.
It's fine with me.
I gotta say this though, really fast. Our color vibrancy is very different.
It is.
And
we're like Batman and Superman.
We are. Fuck, that's so true. And then when you look like a Nolan film, when somebody made a comment about Batman or something, and I looked at you. Or no, it was Clemens talked about the cartons that wouldn't open right.
Yeah.
And I realized your color palette could be best described as things go wrong in an infomercial.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like that. Where
so
the black,
me,
the
right?
gray.
So I'm here like, oh, like then it goes, tired of using a microphone, and it goes to you, and you're like, blah,
right.
blah, blah, like that, like oh, I'm just getting shocked by it, like yeah. And then I'm the one that's like, oh, use the new microphone. I'm like, oh, look at this, I'm talking. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Thought of that. That's so weird. Oh, that's so good though. Oh, that's excellent. You're not wrong.
Frozen milk chips. That's M's new. He's gonna make $1 million with that.
Absolutely. He's gonna put all in the hat.
Absolutely. No, like
that's where all the money goes.
He'll have so much money in that wallet that's gonna fall in that cowboy hat that he's gonna break the bottom of the hat out.
He's gonna have so much money from that he's gonna build a new house that's just a hat with a front door that comes out like where the belt buckle would be on the hat. And
if M had
all
like Scrooge McDuck money.
Oh yeah.
No, if M had Scrooge McDuck money, his money tower would be a really tall cowboy hat. Full of not like coins and like gold and shit. It'd be full of wallets full of money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So he'd dive in, but these like little wallets like flying up, and he's like diving in his thing. And then when M. Wilson gets robbed, inevitably, so he'll have his like Scrooge McDuck's the first dime, but you know how he like walks around it and he has that circle.
Yeah,
it'd be M's first wallet that fell into the cowboy hat, and that'd be in like the little glass case.
That's so
and then
good.
He'd go around, and then whenever he gets robbed, inevitably in the cartoon, of his life, he'd be walking on the bottom of the cowboy hat, and there'd still be a shit ton of wallets, but just like like Scrooge McDuck had he still had treasure chests with some gold and shit.
Right, but
bro, that's still more money than I'll ever see in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And Scrooge is like, I'm broke, kids. I'm broke.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Eb said, me number one wallet.
Goodness.
It'd be in the little case and you walk around it. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's finish the episode. I love y'all. I love
See you in the funny. See you in the morning funnies.
He says, I'll get Easy a new mattress.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was cracking up about.
Yeah.
All
right. It's 3:24. Yeah,
it is.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 324.
See you in the morning funnies. That's how I imagine Shredder said it.
I like that one. That one. How about give me one that sounds like you're just passing by on a bike? Okay. So you're on a bike, and I'm standing there with a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, right? On the street. We're gonna role play this. We're in Nashville, and there's a honky tonk band playing, and I've got a fresh hot Nashville chicken sandwich, and you are on a bike, and you're gonna snatch that shit from me.
Okay.
And on the way past me, you snatch it and you say it you say it.
Okay.
Doing that. Okay.
Gotcha.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 324.
See you in the morning funnies. Did you like that? I did the panning.
Proximity effect on it. The Doppler. Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's so good. Oh man.
Oh my God.
That's too good.
See you in the morning. That's great.
Speaking of cartoons and stuff, did you hear that with the thing that happened a couple of days couple days ago? That they said Disney might have been involved in it. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, there were reports that people heard Donald Duck